And now it's time for Who's Views Reviews with JT and the Whotastic panel.
Good evening, everybody. It's us here at Who's Views Reviews. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. As you can see, I'm here with Graham and I'm here with Paul.
Hello.
And gentlemen,
hello.
We are here to talk about The Awakening. But before we do that, sorry, Graham, before we do that, Paul, how many sleeps to go?
Oh no, let me think now. Where are we now? Is it 10 more sleeps?
Yes. It's Jeffrey. Yeah, it's
you caught me unawares there.
10 more sleeps to go as of transmission here on the 25th of March,
Yes.
2026, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, until, of course, the Daleks Master Plan lands on iPlayer. And we can't wait. You can't wait. We're all really excited about it. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you are still subscribed. And make sure you hit the button for those reminders, because we will be starting with our special review shows with Mission to the Unknown on Thursday, the 2nd of April, live, setting the scene. So make sure that you are with us, because it's going to be a big one. And then we'll be back on the Saturday, Easter Saturday, live with our review of the Daleks Master Plan. I can't believe I'm saying that, actually.
No, and neither can I. Yeah.
It's hard to believe, isn't it? It's wonderful. It's such a lovely. It'll be I can see it being an ongoing Easter ritual to rewatch these episodes every Easter.
Oh, you're setting something there, aren't you? You are setting something there. You're saying that. Good to see everybody in the chat. Darren Reed. So I've got the costume here. So who's going to be Queen of the May this evening? Oh, me! Pick me! Oh, me!
Could there be any other choice for that part? I'm not quite sure.
Robert Payne is saying, good evening, everyone. I watched this earlier on the iPlayer to remind myself I know what people are talking about. John Roberts, hiya, John. He's looking forward to this, guys. So you've got to live up to it now, you see.
The pressure's on.
I watched the new season 21 Blu-ray version.
Oh,
the updated special effects version.
Oh, great. I was hoping you would do, because I want to talk about that as well.
Yeah.
Darren's also saying to it, hiya, Noel. Nice to see you, Noel. And Darren's also saying to us, guys, it's a town called Malus. Now, that's wrong. I mean, to this day, Darren, when I hear that come on the radio, that's what I say.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just brilliant, isn't it? I love it. Evening all says Frankie. Hello to you. Sheila being the devotions is with us. Frankie Standage is saying there should have been another way. Oh, more of that to come, I'm sure. Hello, Stephen Braddock, with your Peter Davison 5th Doctor avatar there. That's nice to see.
Lovely.
Good to see.
It's like the postcard or the record of the theme tune, isn't it? That picture.
It was one of those from the visitation shoot where he had to do all those photographs. Yeah.
Looking good.
What else we got? Steve Braddock also saying to us, hi everyone, I love The Awakening, the story, the acting, the malice, etc. It's a highly underrated story. Yeah,
I agree.
Let's get into that. And Lex Kane, great story is The Awakening. Shame it was only 2 episodes. Yeah. It would have been great as a 4-part story. I'm sure we'll be getting into all that as well. Hartnell's Ghost, I am so glad that the YouTube notification worked for you this evening. I have no idea why it doesn't, guys, but it should do, shouldn't it?
Should do, but hit and miss.
What's YouTube notifications? Sorry, what?
Exactly. But it's good to see it. Hi, John Pope. Hi, Cara. Cara's in there as well. So, guess what, Cara? We are taking you all back right now to 1984 as part, of course, as our season 21 sort of celebration, really, that we had planned as we look at the second story of season 21, which is, of course, The Awakening. It was first screened on BBC One on the 19th and the 20th of January, all those years ago in 1984. It was written by Eric Pringle. It was directed by Michael Owen Morris. It was script edited by Eric Sayward. And of course, it was produced by John Nathan Turner. The only 2 parts of the season as well, guys.
Yeah. But Davison's had 3, hasn't he? So this is his final one. And I love the two-parters in Davis and Dina. They're superb, really good. Again, as someone already said, underrated story. This one's particularly,
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we've got to say, a lot of you in the chat are saying this as well. This was supposed to be a 4-parter.
Yeah.
And Eric Sayward's gone on record over the years by basically saying it wasn't working out. So John was the one that made the decision, cut it to 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
I tend to think, I mean, the only criticism I've got, I think that it ends quite abruptly. So an extra episode or 2 would have been lovely, wouldn't it? But
yeah.
I'm with everybody else. It's a cracking little story, which I'm sure we go into. And I rewatched it. I read the book again recently and rewatched it for this.
Did you?
Yeah. Oh, and love both of them. And it really was enjoyable. And you forget how good it actually is. And I read, like with what Paul was saying, Davison's 2-parters in that era. It was just a nice little break, wasn't it? You had like, I mean, but the King's Demons gets quite a lot of unfortunate criticism, and I love the location work in that one.
Yeah,
but going back to the Awakening, likewise, the location film in here is, you know, an English village in the sunshine with Doctor Who wandering about. Say no more.
Yeah, yeah. It does look great because it was 3 villages, wasn't it? They filmed it in down south,
down south, in it,
and it looks. I think it looks great. I remember. When this was first on back in January 1984, we'd just come off the back of Warriors of the Deep, of course. We didn't really know what was going to be in store for us, apart from the big ending of the series.
Yeah.
So I was relishing every moment of Peter Davison that we could get at this particular point, knowing that his time was coming. You know, this was all going to end. And I really enjoyed the visitation as a 14-year-old. I thought it was really good. I thought, oh, this is fun. This is a bit different.
Well, the thing about it is coming off the back of Warriors of the Deep, that was all studio bound. I think it makes a huge difference when you open up to location. It really lifts it. And the locations are great. And apparently this director who directed this, it was his first directing job as well.
It was, yes.
Was it?
Which I think is incredible. If that's his first job, well done him.
Yeah.
For some superb filming, some great shots. Especially the horses stuff are great. Yeah.
It's Michael Owen Morris, and he'd been working at the BBC for quite some time, and then went on the now legendary director's course within the BBC, which churned out so many classic, brilliant directors in its time. Hi, Raymond Williams. And, you know, he went on to that, and Doctor Who was his first job because John said, yep, come on.
Well, interestingly, the behind the sofa, Bonnie's on behind the sofa for this one, and she says she worked with him on EastEnders, so she knew him. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, because he's done that for a long time now, isn't it?
Yeah,
Darren Reed is saying to us, this is the last of the 3 official 2-parters of the 1980s, unless you split up Trial of a Time Lord into stories, which on this channel we do.
Yeah,
there's a controversy for you.
Yeah, and we do.
Yeah.
So
I always have done, actually.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is stay tuned. Because you never know when that's going to come along, do you? The Trial of a Time Lord. But yes, we are going to be cutting that down. Let's see. Stephen O'Neill saying to us, Eric Pringle was unhappy with Eric Sayward's rewrites, believing that they made the story confusing and rushed. Yeah, I remember hearing that somewhere, and I don't remember ever seeing Eric Pringle at one of the conventions I was ever at. So I don't know if I've read it or somebody told me, but they just couldn't get it to work as a 4-parter. They were running out of time. And I don't think Eric was too happy with the fact that he wasn't able to work with Pringle to flesh it out to that 4-parter. Because it was John that said, get it down to a 2.
Well, it's interesting he feels that it's rushed because when I watched this, my wife was sitting in the living room not watching it, reading a book. And occasionally we look up and see what's going on. And she thought, hearing it kind of just out of view almost, that it did feel a bit rushed, you know. And but I actually think for me the pacing's really good. I think it's quite fast paced, and it's 2 parts. It's snappy. It doesn't outstay its welcome, which is good. I think maybe stretching to 4, 3 might have been okay, but 4 might have been too much. I think maybe potentially, you know,
3 might have been able to answer some of the questions. Yeah. Because I always thought, even though the coziness of that end scene in the TARDIS, where they're all a bit pally and lovely and always and everything, I think it's cozy, but it's too much because it takes away. It's very nowadays, isn't it? It takes away from what's happened.
It's a bit of a Scooby-Doo ending, isn't it? It's like that kind of ending. What BT, all that stuff, you know? It's like, it's like,
I would like to have seen how Verney discovered the Malus and how the Malus took over Sir George, you know, from the start of it. That had been quite a nice little, maybe could have added to the start of the story, couldn't it? Maybe little bits like that. But
Yeah.
like Paul says, maybe 4 episodes, unless there was going to be a bit more of a character plot in episode 3, it might have strung it out a bit. And as it is, 2 parts, it's a cracking little story. You know, and lots of, I mean, I think the guest cast is good in it. I like Dennis Leal. And who's the lady out of the Lovebirds? Polly James.
Polly James, yes, she's really good. She's really good.
Got
Yeah.
Sorry, companion, a bit like Neris Hughes in Kinder a couple of years previous, isn't it? So you know, it's got.
Well, it's funny you should say that, Graham. It's interesting. You've got Will and you've got Polly James's character, and you've got Turlough and Tegan. They get sidelined a little bit because they get almost a bit more time with the Doctor than they do, which is weird considering it's only 2 parts long. You know.
Yeah. Jeffrick's in the chat with us saying that this is the best of the Davison 2-parters, I think. And then on the other side, we've got MD with us, MDB, saying this is Peter's poorest story. That's it. MD, tell us what you don't like about it. I'm interested. I'm really interested in why you think that. Robert Payne is saying, if Tegan's aunt who was shrunk, the daughter of the grandfather on this, if so, he's got over it. The whole thing about the grandfather didn't stick with me in 1984 either. Who is he? Why is he there? And why suddenly there? I think this is Mr. Pringle. And if I'd ever met him, I would have liked to have asked this. Did you not realise that Tegan was Australian? And, you know, I'm not saying that the grandfather could be, he's blatantly English.
So well, he could be English if she went to Australia, you know, the family went to Australia. It's possible, I
didn't think he
was half British, half Australian.
Well, he doesn't have to be Australian at all, does he? I mean, if he's here and they had the kids here, and then the kids went to America and they had, because that's her grandfather, not her father. So obviously, maybe her parents went to Australia. She lived there, and he was always been here. He doesn't have to be Australian, does he? Does he? No,
he doesn't. No, that's what I'm saying. But she does. She's half British, half Australian. Yeah. It's very strange, though. I just think no, and I don't look watching it again today. I don't like it. I don't like this thing about Verney being Andrew Verney, played by Frederick Hall. No disrespect to the actor at all, but I just don't like the fact that this is supposed to be Tegan's grandfather. It's not believable.
No, I don't look old enough to me.
It. You know?
It didn't bother me particularly. I thought it was fine. I thought they seemed reasonable. You know.
No, it doesn't. It never did. It didn't in 1984. It still doesn't today. I just think, this is just somebody who's not read the character briefing properly. And she doesn't seem to be any sort. You know, even at that end bit, you know, she's insisting that they stay for tea and stuff like this now, so she can spend time with her grandfather. It's just come out of nowhere. I would rather. I mean, this is foreshadowing by a couple of decades what we eventually get in modern Who from you. That soap opera element that I just don't like. You know, it's a case of really, especially when it's shallow like this. It's just a case of shoehorning it in, and I don't know. It doesn't sit with me, everybody. I just think, I don't like it. I would have rather they just materialized and got on with like they normally do with a load of strangers and got on.
What I would say about it though, if he was her grandfather or is her grandfather, they don't have enough screen time to get any kind of real rapport together to show that if it was a real relationship anyway, because they're hardly any scenes together, are they? I think one at the end. I think they're lucky, you know. But
yeah, it's true. You don't. Yeah. I'm glad to be. It's a good episode, says Coquelin. I'm glad you enjoy it. I personally love the Peter Davison era. Yeah, it's got a lot going for it. The Peter Davison era. At the time, it was a breath of fresh air. You know, when you were watching it at the time, it was exciting and vibrant and very of its day, very 80s. As I think I've said before on the show, Hartnell's Ghost. I'd rather have a 2-parter wanting an extra episode than a 4-parter wanting less.
Yeah,
good point.
Yeah.
Hello, William Orlock. Our personal favourite of mine, good generic Who story. Polly James, Glyn Houston, and Keith Jane giving really likeable character performance.
Yeah.
Well, even the villains have got a twinkle. I've forgotten the actor's name who plays the kind of really aggressive one who's not Dennis Lill. I've forgotten his name.
Willow, the guy who plays Willow.
Willow, yeah. He was in a show called he was in a show called Mackenzie back in the 80s. I remember that distinctly. He was on the guy on the right there, and he's really good in it as well. They're all really good. I can't think of a weak link. Even the grandfather, I don't know there's a weak link.
No, they're all good. They're all good.
They're
really, really good. I mean, Jack Galloway there on the right, he was, I can't remember what he was in that I recognised him from, Paul, back in the day, and I still can't remember it now.
It's a show called Mackenzie. There's a show called Mackenzie that was on BBC One. It was an adult drama, but I think it was a period drama set either 50s or 60s.
What's
And it
that?
had Sheila Ruskin in it, who plays Cassia and Keeper of Traken.
Yeah.
And I remember
Yeah,
seeing that as a drama. If you were 14 at the time, whatever, it would have been potentially, kind of too late. But I don't know. Perhaps I don't know.
Yeah. I prefer this story over King's Demon, says Davy B. Good to see you, Davy. Bill Howery. The church collapsing in on itself was weak and the explosion appeared to be mostly confetti. It probably was. Probably. But they've done things like that better, haven't they?
Yeah.
No one wrote it and said, "You destroyed the church." Oh no!
Nah,
Yeah,
not the demons.
Yeah.
And then there was one of these things as well that they did quite well at the time. I love the reference to the pteroleptal, says Funky. Yeah, that was a nice little thing because it did tie in with the. I reckon Eric Say would put that in there.
Yeah. I was disappointed they went in it after that. I thought, yes, they're coming back. I love the pteroleptals. And they didn't show up at all. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Sorry, Greg. Darren is actually pointing out to us quite rightly that Tegan and her many relatives are a whole show on its own. True, because we've met her cousin before this, haven't we? The season before.
Of course, yeah.
And he is Australian.
I wonder if she's got a budgie or something. Tegan's budgie. We never met Tegan's budgie.
Well, she had a chicken in Arc of Infinity, didn't she?
That's true. Yeah. That's near enough.
That's true. Yeah.
But I thought this was quite a breath of fresh air. Also, when I watched it, rewatched it, only 2 deaths in the season 21 story. The guy who gets beheaded, and Sir George presumably dies when he gets bunged in the Malus's crack. Should we say?
Yeah, I mean,
interesting choice of word there, Graham.
Yeah. Considering what's about to happen from Frontiers onwards, I mean, that's why I think it works in this series and where it is as well, because you're coming off Warriors of the Deep, and then you've got this, which is just a nice sort of vaguely familiar traditional Doctor Who story. I'm the same as you guys. I love the fact it's in an English village, and by God, in 1983 we had a great summer, because there it is captured on film. You can see we had a great summer in 1983. It looks gorgeous.
It really adds to it.
And the fact there's this sort of malevolent force, this alien force around the village, that's familiar, isn't it, to us? And I think that's why it works. And then after that, in the rest of season 21, it's totally sort of, well, it gets quite brutal by the Dalek one, doesn't it, really?
Oh, yeah, it's quite violent. I was watching Kaiser Zazani this week as well, and I watched some of the new effects on that on the Blu-ray set, and I forgot how violent it is, but it was really good. The new effects on that also are very good, I have to say. Yeah.
Very good. Oh, I'm looking forward to reviewing that at some point in the future. What else we got here? Eric Sayward, says Stephen O'Neill, implemented several elements from his own story, The Visitation, such as Tinklavik and Raga, thereby making The Awakening a loose sequel to The Visitation. Yeah, I wonder if he did that because there was nothing in the script, because, I mean, there were problems with the script.
I was trying to work out whether the Malus has some connection with the pteroleptals in some way, if that was something to do with them as well, but that never got explained, did it?
No, it didn't. It didn't. Again, a third episode might have sorted that out. Someone was beheaded, says Robert Payne. The iPlayer version must be edited out. You can't see it. It's suggested with psychic projections around the trooper. Yeah. And they put the swords on his shoulder, and then you hear the scream, and Tegan nearly being sick.
That's the same one who uses a bit of polystyrene to batter around the TARDIS, isn't it? Yeah, that one. Yeah, that's it. The book's far more graphic. When you read the book's like, oh god, far more graphic in print than it was on telly. But did you think it was very Sapphire and Steel-like with the apparition? Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, with the little twinkly lights and not detrimental. I thoroughly enjoyed both shows, so it was interesting. All these apparitions like ghosts from the 16th, 17th century coming forward in time and stuff, and it was interesting. And I think I mentioned on the last week's review, I remember as a child, what really impressed me, any of the Doctor's villains that could get inside the TARDIS, that immediately gave them that, to me as a small child, that little bit of a like, wow, they're special because they can get inside the TARDIS. And of course, this little fella, he was in there, wasn't he? He's on his little perch.
Bloody horrible
what he was doing there, but
he's really creepy, isn't he? That creature, really creepy. Yeah.
I actually did sort of when I first saw that in '84, I was like, ugh, that is horrible. It was so well done. I mean, it's a puppet, obviously, but it was so well done. It looked absolutely fine, and I was really annoyed that it was it's on the new console set. What's going on? I mean, this is terrible.
It just come to me who it reminds me of. It's Zelda from Terrahawks, isn't it? That's who. Yeah.
that sort of era as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice. It's very well done, but it was just creepy Who viewers. I thought that whole thing.
Yeah.
And it got in there because they didn't close the door. Is that correct?
Allegedly, yeah.
So, yeah.
They left the door open in the crypt.
The fact that he's in there gave it a little bit more like, and of course you've got the great big Malus behind the church wall, and his little subordinate thingy in the TARDIS itself, which was quality, quite good to see.
Steve Braddock is saying character options. If you release a Malus on the wall figure set, we'd buy it. We'd buy anything that was classic good stuff, though, wouldn't we? To an extent, I still say there was a nice sort of the big face of the Malus behind the wall with light up green eyes with a Peace Davison action figure would be a lovely little set there, because I think that would sell.
Talking of the eyes of the Malus, because we're all similar vintage. If you guys had an action man with eagle eyes, it's a bit like that, isn't it? When you move the eyes back and forth, again with that kind of thing. Yeah.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. That's the other thing about this. The build-up, something's going wrong because obviously it's Doctor Who, but it's a lovely thing when the TARDIS arrives and it's in the crypt. The sets are gorgeous.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Barry Newbury's church sets are amazing, especially the stained glass windows. On the documentary, where there's some great photographs of the design. And the set looks huge. It really does.
Yeah, I'm just so impressed by it. The crypt looks fantastic. The actual upstairs in the church itself looks great. I mean, this is the BBC doing what the BBC used to do fantastically. And something's going on when the dry ice starts to come through that crack.
Yeah,
you start to get a bit. I mean, we'd actually been prepared about what could be behind it, of course, from the year before, from the Radio Times 20th anniversary special with that picture of the guys with the Malus and stuff like that. So you sort of expected it in there, but the actual reveal works well. I'm just so impressed with the whole look of it. Glenn Houston's character, Colonel Wolseley, his room.
Oh yeah,
beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous.
Even the Doctor says, "Done it. This is a very impressive room." When he goes inside, that's for the first time.
Yeah.
It is quite quintessential Doctor Who, with like secret corridors into crypts and stuff like that, isn't it? And that English country village and churches and monsters. It's a very traditional based story, but I quite like the setup of the idea of the war games. So so you've got the telephone box on the roadside, and I think at one time he says to Wolsey says to Willow, "We need more men. He can ring up Sir George." I'm not allowed to. He says,
"Not allowed." Because I mean, it's hard for people to understand or remember if you weren't there or if whatever. War games happened around the country quite a bit back in the day. There's still certain sort of theatrical sort of ones that go on now,
but they're called reenactment type things, aren't they? That sort of thing.
But they were all over the place. I seem to remember back in the 70s and 80s. Because I remember going to see a fair few at weekends. And all these.
It was of its time, wasn't it? Yeah, it was of its time, wasn't it? It was quite a familiar kind of reenactment, wasn't it? People did do these things. They did happen.
You're probably not allowed to do them these days for some sort of ridiculous reason.
I was going to say, I've always liked the historical stories anyway, but I like the idea of the fact of this being a historical story, but it's actually a modern story at the same time. It's got great visuals in it, and all the kind of Cavalier costumes and the round head and stuff. They look great, really good kind of combinations of each other, and the colours are beautiful. And like you said, the actual locations are great. Was it the same location they had for Android Invasion as well, wasn't it? Yeah.
No, I've been to that one.
Was it not? Not one of the parts, especially the bit where the tower is, because it's not the same tower that Stigron ties the Doctor to.
No, it's not.
I've been there. It's only small. Is it not? When you get there at East Hagborn, it's very, very small. It's like literally one street, but it's worth a visit. Right. It's not a million miles from Aldbourne or Avebury for Children of the Stones. If you do, you can actually go to all three in about about an hour or so. Worth a visit if you like that sort of thing. But I've not been. I've not been this one.
I've got it here. The three locations to make up the village in the Awakening are Tarrant Monkton in Dorset, Shatwick in Dorset, and in Hampshire. Damer's Farm, Martin Cross in Hampshire. There you go.
Yeah.
St. Bartholomew's Church in Shatwick in Dorset. So I mean it's a fair mix. Fair mix there. But they do get Doctor Who fans going down there. occasionally. So, you know, when they see somebody they don't know, they go, oh, that's a Doctor Who fan. And what we got from Craig Dunlop is saying, I liked the creepiness of this story. It made it one of Davison's best stories for me. There is that element, and I think Peter Howell's beautiful score to this, Craig, helps it to become creepy. But you know what? It reminded me back then. And I'm going to say as well, I sort of still get the feel of it today. With just that little bit more polish, this would have been an Avengers story.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You see that.
Or even a new Avengers story. For the reasons you were saying, because, you know, this is brilliant. They don't have to worry about telephone cables and telephone boxes and the cars being out on the road or anything like that. They can make it all very, very modern. And set it around this whole war game and have the actors around in these old clothes. It's brilliant. I think that's very clever to do. You know, the Malus is iconic, says John Roberts. Bloody is. And Bill Harry, thank you, agreeing with us. It's a good-looking story, sets, costumes, the lot. It was the BBC doing what the BBC did, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The large Malus is in a private collection, isn't it? Says Darren Reed. Wouldn't surprise me. I remember it being in Blackpool.
Yeah, I remember that too. Yeah.
Great pictures of that one. I think we all did. 1985 seems to be the year that we all went to Blackpool.
Yeah.
You know, and we were able to go click at all these wonderful things.
I think the small one was in Longleat. So I went to Longleat around that time, but I can't be sure. But I think it was. It's hard to remember. I haven't got the photographs, but I think so. But talking of going back to the story, did anyone else get a Wicker Man vibe with the Queen of the May? And all that, which was
definitely,
folk horror, and it's another plus point for me. You know, although I hadn't seen the Wicker Man at the time, you know, watching it as an adult, I realised it was probably a homage to the Wicker Man in certain areas. But creepy is a good objective. It is a creepy.
It's a great way of actually involving the Doctor's companion into danger. You know. There's Tegan running around in high heels all over the place. How she did that, I have no idea. Ouch. Especially that bit through the water. Ooh.
Not nice.
And then, and they've got her. Again, it's the mystery around Sir George, isn't it? I mean, he's completely and utterly unhinged.
Oh, yeah.
But you're not quite sure why at this point. You're just thinking he's really got into this and he's gone completely balmy. You know, and I quite like the way that that's brought out a bit. But you do know Tegan's in danger because he's going to make her the Queen of the May. And at that point, again, if you were a kid at that point, you were aware of what happened in English history to the Queen of the May.
Well, it's even explained, though, I think, between the Doctor and Will, don't they? They can explain what's going to happen. So even if you didn't know that, there's a clear explanation of what's going to happen, which is really scary. You know?
It is. That's it. And Tegan's in danger, and you know that. So when you actually hear, she's going to be our Queen of the May, I don't know about you guys, but at the time I put two and two. Hang on a minute. We're going to to something in a minute, you know. And that's when I came. Just fantastic. The Fifth Doctor, says Chris Kaz, must hold the record for inviting most strangers into his TARDIS. Over 3 years, I think so. Absolutely. He did the year before in Black Orchid, didn't he?
Well, and then Earthshock, and then Time Flight people are there. Yes, many people are there.
I must admit, back in the day, I didn't like that. I thought, oh no, because I never seemed that surprised. It was like quickly,
Well, I think the policeman says in Black Orchid, "Strike me pink" or something. He says,
"Strike me pink." That's a great line. I've been saying that for years. Nobody knows what I'm talking about. The Sealed Knot Society still have war games for the Civil War, says John Roberts. Do they really? Goodness me. Well, good for them, because I'm sure there'll be various lunatics running around trying to stop them, claiming all sorts of nonsense. Robert Payne, I liked how Polly James was allowed to operate.
And so did she, clearly. She was loving that bit, I think.
She did. Polly James.
Davison's actually quite sarcastic in this, isn't he? Quite a few. He's very dry. He's got quite a good amount of sarcasm in this particular story, I think.
I think he's superb in this. I really do. He's really into stride this season completely. He really is.
Yeah.
Well, he is. Yeah. I mean, you can see that this confidence in this story. You can really see his confidence. I love the bit where he's just out in the outdoor scenes. There he is. He's just like, I know what I'm doing. This is me. You know, here I am. I'm doing this, and it's just brilliant. I want to point out as well. A couple of people in the chat mentioned it earlier. You're absolutely right. Part 1 got 7.9 million viewers, according to my notes here, and part 2, 6.6 million. Not bad for back to back on 2 nights, really. That's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
That's good
I'm
television.
surprised. I'm surprised the second one's lower than the first. I thought it would have remained quite constant, but it's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 1984. It must have been the ninth. I don't know.
Didn't it? Did
Yeah.
it get repeated the following year or the summer? It did get repeat, didn't it?
It got
I
a
got
repeat.
repeat. Yeah. Yeah.
I've never seen it twice at the time.
It
Yeah.
is, yeah. Hello, Louis Rice. How are you? Good to see you. This one feels like a cozy Hammer horror film with some of that family-friendly charm. Yeah, you're right. Actually, that's a good way to think about it. It does. Yeah, it does. Yeah, I like that.
I'm guessing, I don't know if you've got it there, JT, but in my trusty Fifth Doctor handbook here I have handy,
Yes.
there was an omnibus on the 20th of July, 84,
Yeah.
and it was 4.4 they got for it. So,
Right, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
so
Okay.
it's had a repeat, later on in the year, So
I remember watching the repeat myself, actually.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't going to miss that. Eric Pringle says Stephen O'Neill was inspired by his interest in the English Civil War. I remember reading that somewhere as well. It's a long time ago now. Tiny Triumph is with us. Hello, mate. How are you? And Domgo is saying both the Visitation and this are very English. A lot of the Fifth Doctor stories revolve around English traditions. Yeah, they do, really, don't they? Yeah. And that's something that they weren't frightened to do back in the day. They were, they knew their main audience was going to be the British audience, so they went for it. They went for it. And that's why it was successful here. These days, they'd be like, "Oh, should we do that? Oh, I don't know if we should put that in. Oh, should we change the TARDIS because it's a British icon?"
Yeah. Well, these are the elements that overseas people like the Americans love all the Britishness of it, and they would have loved all this, wouldn't they? Let's be honest.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, and because it looks so good as well. I mean, and I'm going to say it again. That summer of 1983, I'm so glad it's captured in The Awakening, and I'd forgotten that. And when I was watching it again today, I went, "Oh my God, we did have a great summer in '83," because I remember bits of it. I remember going on holiday and my family around me and friends and going out and very late nights because it was so sunny and warm.
Yeah, long, balmy summer nights, wasn't it?
That sort of stuff, the whole thing about when we were kids is that you had to come in when the street lights went on, and of course, in the summertime, the street lights didn't come on till later, so you got home late and got a row. not like you would today, but no, I love that. The toast of Little Hodcombe, ha ha ha. Says
yes, that was funny, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And you speak treason fluently.
Yeah.
I mean, these people are really getting into this war game thing, aren't they? But they are being driven by an insane lunatic. Surely, none of them were seeing it either. They were so into it, weren't they? They were just, kill him. All right, then. Excuse me, that's against the law. What are you talking about?
And I think it's wonderful as well, the fact he's a magistrate as well. I think that was a lovely touch to have him. A man of authority, but he doesn't give two hoots, you know what I mean? It's incredible.
I find myself quite innocent, he said, didn't he?
Yeah.
We've also got Louis saying the reason why Doctor Who managed to make so many set pieces despite their budget was because they frequently used a theatre supplies company called Peter Evans Studio, who is still around today. Well, that's good to know. That's really nice. Well done to them. Congratulations on getting through all the crap that we've had to be through over the last 40 years. Well done. And Woodhouse is saying to us, Will was okay, but he felt too much like Adric to me. So anyway, this is this thing, and there's a couple of people in the chat that have said this as well. There was this whole fan thing about Will, and that he was supposed to be a companion. He was supposed to be coming on board as a companion. Now, I remember Eric Sayward at some point saying, no, that wasn't planned. He wasn't aware if John Nathan Turner was doing it, but it's not something it was ever mentioned. But he said it would have been too difficult to sustain.
But that I think that's lazy. I really do. And because I think the idea, look at Fraser Hines as Jamie. I know immediately he became Fraser Hines rather than Jamie. It became their relationship kind of thing. But they worked into the fact that it's like Leela. The character's not stupid. They're just uneducated. So through the Doctor, they learn on the journey of how things work. So eventually they do become educated. So it's just a question of biding your time a little bit. You know what I mean? Because we're going to see that in Katerina, hopefully, when we see her in the 2 episodes of Master Plan, because that's why she was cut out, because they thought it didn't work. But Victoria and Jamie worked brilliantly together, and I think having historical characters is something the show needs to make it more interesting than just boring old people from the modern day, don't you? You know?
Yeah.
I think at times it's needed to have an historical companion there.
Yeah.
So I do agree. I mean, we see that in modern day Who, don't we? I think they are desperate now for a girl that's from the past.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Even if it's the recent past, like another 60s girl or a 70s girl, you know, I would love to see a Victorian in there again these days.
Yeah.
It really was something fresh.
I think the trouble,
and a writer too as well.
The trouble with having Will on board, though, is you've already got Tegan and Turlough. You don't need another companion.
No.
They were just starting to get the idea right. Actually, just one doctor, one companion, as J&T said, you know, and that's it. And that's all you need. If you had an extra character, okay, you lost Tegan, so it'd be Will and Turlough together, and it'd be Will and Perry together, and so on. You know, so how would that work? Who knows? You know?
Yeah, exactly. Chris Kaz is saying to us, wasn't the actor who played Will also Stig of the Dump?
Was it?
Well, yes.
I watched that still. Oh my God, Lord.
Yeah, and that was a great series. I remember I was so excited after school when that was going to come on. I was loving that.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Yeah, Keith James, a cracking actor, though. I really like him in this, and I like him in other things I've seen him in. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's worked with Michael Owen Morris before on something. Not Michael wasn't directed, but Keith often says that he was absolutely honoured and delighted to take part in Michael Owen Morris's first production as a director.
Yeah.
Isn't that nice?
Lovely.
Yeah, really good, really good. But yes, Stig of the Dump. What a series! Again, I doubt they'd ever repeat that today.
That was ITV, though, wasn't it? Wasn't it?
It was ITV.
Yeah, I thought it was. Yeah.
Mark Walker is saying to us, please, no more companions from the locally grey concrete estate. It's over now, that whole thing. It's all tired. I mean, when you look at the variety, and strangely, let's use the word that they love, diversity of the companions in the original Doctor Who. Now, that's how you do it. You know, that's diversity. Some of them were even aliens.
Yeah.
Of course they were. Yeah. And it made it more fun. You never knew who you were going to get, did you? You know, there wasn't just a standard stereotype companion. All through the 26 years of original proper Who, there was all walks of life and all different things. It made it more entertaining, I thought, definitely.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
You know,
even the Earthbound companions, Graham, in the original 26-year run, they are different to each other. So Sarah is different to Tegan, who effectively is the next Earth companion when you think about it. Perry is completely different to the lot of them. In fact, we don't get another British companion until Mel.
Yeah.
Because the rest of them are supposed to be from abroad. So, I mean, that's what they got wrong, I think, today. And looking at this, you just think, well, look, there's Will. And with a bit of care and love, proper direction and some stories, he could have worked.
Could have been involved, couldn't he? Yeah.
Because it's funny, they talk about, you know, that it wouldn't work. But I used to love Catweasel, for instance, in the 70s. And the fact he didn't know about electricity and technology, that was wonderfully fun.
Charming.
You know, charming, exactly. And then you could have that with Will. You know, you had it a little bit with Jamie, a little bit, and Victoria as well. But I think that it's got room for imagination, I think, as well, which is lovely.
And also a great thing for the actor and the writers, because what they've got to do, they've got to develop. Because the great thing about Jamie is he's a Highlander at the beginning, of course, but by the time he's ripped apart from the Doctor by the Time Lords, he's an experienced time and space traveler.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know,
and you shared that journey with him, didn't you? Yeah, back in the 60s, you would have shared him gradually getting more confident, getting to know things, getting to, you know, become more of a, you know, well-rounded character.
Yeah, exactly. Hello to everyone that's joining us in the moment. Good to see you, Adrian James Farsight. Nice to see you. Welcome. Nice to see you all. We are talking about, as part of our look at season 21, we had our season 21 overview last week. We are now looking, of course, at The Awakening, first broadcast on the 19th and the 20th of January 1984. Amazing stuff. Stephen O'Neill is also saying to us, a scene involving Tegan and the Doctor's robotic companion Kamelion in a corridor in the TARDIS in part 1 was filmed for this serial, but it was edited out before transmission due to overrunning. Now, this is the famous thing at all. Paul, is that on the Blu-ray at all?
Yeah, it's on the DVD as well. It's a deleted scene.
Oh, I've forgotten it then.
Yeah, so it's on there. and he's in it. And like I think I said on our review of season 21, there's a bit in it where Camelion's trying to work on the TARDIS, one of the roundels, like Turlough does in Terminus, doing something on there. And then he's speaking in different voices. He's using the Doctor's voice, then Turlough's voice, and Tegan doesn't like him, and she's suspicious of him. So it's a bit like he's the same relationship she had with Turlough a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of kind of animosity between the two of them, and Camelion's trying to just be friendly, but she's not having any of it, kind of thing.
The thing is, as well, that's a shame that scene was cut because Tegan was right.
Yeah, it would have made sense.
That's been a nice running theme, couldn't it? From Five Doctors, well, not Five Doctors mainly, but from Warriors of the Deep, Awakening, Frontios, Resurrection of the Daleks, where she has a last go at him. That could have been a nice running theme to prove.
Yeah,
she would never have known that she was right.
Yeah,
good call.
Yeah,
and it's bizarre because they treated Kamelion a bit like K9, because when K9 wasn't in Doctor, he was in the cupboard. He was broken or whatever, or he couldn't go to Delta Magna because of the swamps, whatever, blah blah blah. Didn't see him, but they couldn't do that with Kamelion because he was more of a companion than K9 was in terms of like physicality, really. So I don't understand why they didn't do that, or why they just not write him back in again after King's Demons. Have a line saying we dropped him off in Zerafas and leave it at that. You know,
because they just didn't.
But he was rubbish.
Yeah, I remember I told you last week when I said years later to Nathan Turner, oh, you missed the trick with Kamelion because you could have had a different actor every story, and his face just went.
Yeah,
and the blood drained from his face, who views, as he realised he could have had the ultimate guest star every story to play Kamelion. The thing changed. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. They just didn't think about it.
And they could do this in Lost in Space, guest starring, blah blah blah, at the front, you know, like that.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it was heartbreaking, Graham, to see Nathan Turner just going. When I said that to him,
it was a very valid point, though, very true. And even as a boy watching it, I remember thinking, "Where's he gone? Why has he not even been mentioned?" If they, like Paul said, if they just said like, "Well, Kamelions, you know, out of commission, or he's not feeling very well, or he's got to visit his nan or something," but to not mention him at all until Planet of Fire when he popped back again.
Yeah, that's why it was a mistake to not have an actor playing him, a moving, talking, walking actor.
Strange.
You know? And that would have been great with Tegan, who just wouldn't have liked the thing at all, not trust him. That would have been a nice little bit of storyline there, I think.
Bit of continuity as well. And the thing is, I know we're not talking about Planet of Fire, but in Planet of Fire, when he does appear, it's all of a sudden you hear him screaming, "Kamelion, what's going on?" And it's like, you're not worried about for 5-6 stories. What's going on? Like, do you really care, Doctor? For goodness sake! He's
obviously been checking on him when he's in the TARDIS, hasn't he?
Yeah, maybe. Are you okay, Kamelion? Do you want a hot chocolate or something for bedtime? Yeah, shut the door.
We're going to get you home soon at some point when I've sorted that too.
I'll tell you, it is a thing. A thing that struck me when I watched it yesterday, rewatched it for the first time for a while actually, was I was quite. I don't know what to say. The fact that the Malus didn't speak, just a silent monster, roared a bit, didn't it? But he didn't actually have a silly voice or anything, which was quite unusual back in the day, wasn't it? It's just his presence, you know, like what was an alien weapon fueled by hate. I mean, that's quite a good premise for an alien, for a monster, isn't it? For a villain.
I think it empowers.
I did.
What you're saying there, Grim, it empowers the monster because it doesn't speak. I mean, it looks bloody awful as well. I remember thinking at the time, that looks great.
Yeah.
I imagine that it didn't speak partly for, I think, because trying to manipulate the mouth would have been a bit hard to make that convincing, I think, a little bit. But
it does move, doesn't it, the face?
Yeah, it does, yeah. I think it's more impactful without not speaking. It's just intense as it is, you know?
Definitely. I thought it was quite a clever idea. But no silly voice. So I remember in Seeds of Doom when the Crinoid talks in episode 4 or 5, isn't it? I'm thinking, oh my. You know, I remember that as a kid thinking, I was only 6 at the time, thinking, that's not right, is it? But the Malus didn't.
But that's Keeler's voice, isn't it? Let's be honest.
That's true, yeah.
But it is brilliant, this, when it comes to the Malus, the fact that it's using psychic projection. What a great way to get out of doing that. It's using the psychic projection. It's feeding off what's around it. That's a great premise for someone. Now today, of course, I reckon, who views, I don't know about you in the chat, but I reckon that today, if you, God forbid, they brought the Malus back, we don't want it to because they turned him into some sort of high camp ninny. But in this one,
singing, all dancing,
yeah. But if they had, there's a whole storyline there about the power of a Malus feeding off the energy of people around them, and then actually putting its own malevolence into certain people to power it up even more. That's a great science fiction concept.
That's a really clever idea, isn't it? The more negative energy it picks up on and gets stronger and stronger. And the novel makes reference to that quite a bit, about the fact that it needs the hatred and the nasty energy to fuel itself, which was good.
Do you know, I've only read that once, and it was back in the day when it came out, because it came out fairly quickly, didn't it?
Yeah, I dug it out purposely to read it, and I thought, I have a little look at it, and my copy's ancient, it's an old library copy.
Beautiful.
But it's quite a good read. I quite enjoyed it. I mean, I read it in a day, so I just sat and read it, and it was just, but it's quite a good book. Quite enjoyed it, to be fair. I read it.
I'll have to go. Yeah, I was going to say about the energy, the negative energy. It's a shame to get more about how Sir George got involved with it, because had he always done the war games, or was it through the war games he got involved with the Malus, or did the Malus brainwash him to do that, to get that negative energy? How it all came together would be interesting to know.
That's what I wanted to say.
It's like what you were saying before. There is a mystery there. Andrew Verney discovers this thing. Then he tells George. Then Sir George realizes there might be something in it. Goes and see it, and that is a great. So that's the third episode, isn't it? Yeah. Even if that episode, dare I say, it doesn't have the Doctor in it until towards the end in a 25-minute episode where he turns up at that particular point. But again, though, in this sense, you go with it because it's happened off camera, and we didn't need it explained to us back in the day, did we? So we got it. But it's not. I mean, it's like a prequel that we never saw, isn't it? That idea. Louis is saying to us, they'd never make a monster like the Malus today, and if they did, it'd be a generic-looking CGI atrocity. You're right, and it would.
He's got the face of Bo vibes a bit, hasn't he? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, maybe. No, I just remember being so impressed, Lee, when I saw it in the Blackpool exhibition, and I think it was there. It was definitely there 84 and into 85, because it was there when Colin turned up in 85.
I remember.
Definitely there then. Yeah. Mind you, they didn't have anything to change it with him in 85, did they, really? A few Cybermen and stuff like that. Yeah. And Steve Braddock is saying the Malus in both sizes is a superb practical model and special effects triumph, so much better than the computer graphics. Stephen O'Neill, in the original script, the Malus emerged from the fabric of the church wall, which you could do beautifully now.
Yeah,
you could do that where it just comes out of it. Again, they'd probably meld it with CGI and stuff. But as a model, as an effect, you could actually physically do it. Darren Reed is saying all the new Who doctors were really Kamelion, controlled by the Master. That's 2005 to 2024 explained. I like that. That's good. And that explains the glittering gold all over the place. And Farsight is saying, to me, The Awakening is quintessential Doctor Who, a sleepy village where evil lurks.
Yeah. I remember back in the day, in 1984, really getting into I remember a little bit of John's last season 11, as a very small child. But of course, season 7, 8, 9, and 10 was for myself being discovered by the Target books. And one of the best ones was The Demons. That obviously was a great story, but I hadn't seen it in 1984. I just read the book. This came on television, and this was My Demons. This was the Demons with my Doctor, or with the latest Dr. Davison in it, in a similar kind of vibe, and it didn't disappoint at all. I loved it. I saw so many, like the church at the end being destroyed, the monster in the church. It was My Demons, and I loved that story. So it couldn't fail for me, and it was a cracking. What's the word? Not a copy of the Demons, but certainly there were
similarities.
Similarities that really excited me as a youngster, definitely. Yeah,
certainly I've had a lot of communications as we're in the run-up to doing the show tonight with The Awakening from Who viewers through email or what have you, basically saying to us there is that similarity. And I think all Doctor Who fans have had that there, but the feels are totally different, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't mind the similarities, but I think it stands on its own. Both stories are different enough to be different. If you know.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Oh, they're totally different. These two, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, at that point, I'd never seen the Demons.
No, I didn't.
I'd only seen part 5. I was lucky enough to get another Aha Jim Ladd copy back in 84 of it. Yeah, of part 5, only part 5, which is a horrible camera copy version of it. Really hard to watch. Really shocking quality. Yeah. But it was good though.
And it does look good. It's great. It's great. Craig Dunlop, you're very, very naughty. The more negative energy, the stronger it gets. Sounds like RTD. Very, very naughty, Craig, but very funny. That's great. Oh, and Stephen O'Neill is saying to us, the cast travelled to Tarrant Monkton a day early so they could practice their horse riding. That opening with the horses, that's brilliant.
It's lovely, yeah. And that cutting back and forth to get the kind of pacing of it is really nice.
I just remember being impressed in 1984. Oh, there's horses in Doctor Who. I don't think I'd ever seen that before. And then I remembered things like Mask of Mandragora. You know.
Yeah.
But at that point, I was thinking, oh, this is. But it does. It just looks. It looks good. It works brilliantly.
And the guy with the guy from the 17th century with with only one eye that nicks Tegan's handbag's quite creepy, isn't it? When
the kleptomaniac, yeah.
Yeah, and he's a projection, isn't he?
Yeah.
The makeup's quite good.
Yeah, it's difficult to. Again, it adds to the mystery. Who's a psychic projection and who's not?
Yeah.
Even the
that's what I was going to say. At the start of the story, when you see Polly James looking for Sir George or whatever, or Ben as she's wandering around the farm, and you see the horses coming, if you didn't know at that point, you may have thought it was some kind of time thing going on.
Yeah.
And then you find out later it's a war games, but it could have easily have been sort of like like it was with Will, that kind of bleeding through time sort of idea. You know what I mean? More of that. You know what I mean?
Totally. Again, it's that sort of mystery that is actually unique to The Awakening, I think. It works beautifully the way that they've set it up. And part one is just great. I mean, if you're a not-wee tuning into Doctor Who,
you'd be intrigued.
Yeah. I mean, even if they showed it today, The Awakening Part 1, you would get into that and you would go, oh, this is different. This is not what I expect from Doctor Who.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
And then hopefully we watch part 2. In fact, today, because it's 2 25-minute episodes, you could put it together as one episode now, couldn't you? And broadcast the whole thing. You know, I think that would work now. Bank holidays, BBC, please. That would be lovely.
Especially a little summary story, definitely.
Yeah, Funky is saying to us, first the Fendal, then the Malus. Poor Dennis Lill didn't have much luck, did he?
No.
He's good, this though. I like him, isn't that? He's so good in Survivors as well, isn't he? But in his Doctor,
he's good in everything.
Yeah. He's good, isn't he? He's good.
Rodney's father-in-law as well. Superb.
Yeah, of course.
He is very good in this, and I love the way that he is. He's totally different to how he was in Image of the Fendal. He's much more himself, I would reckon, in Fendal. And here he is, all these, all these years later, in the beard and the wig, and the voice is different. The body movement. What an actor! He's just class.
It's really theatrical as performance, but highly watchable. It really is.
I think that's why it works, because he's got that character and realised the character is an unhinged one, and he's gone for it, Paul.
Yeah, definitely.
And it builds up as well. It's a bit, you can see the cracks showing, but then it goes up to here by the end of it. You know, it's an incredible performance.
I like the bit when does he say to the doctor, "Are you a member of the theatrical profession?" He says,
"No more than you are."
Yeah.
It's
quite good, isn't it? Yeah.
You can just see them having a lovely time with that in rehearsal, can't you?
Yeah, definitely.
But it's quite funny because it's almost like, is he taking the mickey of the doctor's costume? I don't know, but
I think he is.
I did. I read that. Yeah.
And yet, for a village like that, what the Doctor is wearing for once shouldn't have batted an eyelid.
Yeah.
No, I've got the cricket weekend wrong.
Yeah. If it was the sixth Doctor, maybe.
Yeah, God,
At the risk of alienating any of the viewers from overseas, do we all remember the outtake when the horse went through the lynch state and pulled all the thing down? That was all over the things like, I can't remember the program now, on Saturday night when it was all mistakes.
Well,
again, that's on the DVD and on the Blu-ray.
Yeah, it's on the DVD.
And Davison accepts the award. It's very funny, and there's a bit of business with him trying to get him off the stage, and he gets taken off. It's brilliant, very good.
I remember that going out live, and because by then you didn't know about this blooper. This was the first time we'd seen this, and it was quite funny at the time. I look at it now, saying it's not that funny, but anyway, you got a golden egg.
I prefer the Dalek one from 5 Doctors myself. Yeah.
You got a golden egg because Noel Emmons' show at the time gave these golden eggs out for things that had gone wrong. They were quite funny.
But it goes to show how sad we all were, because any Doctor Who that came up unexpectedly on any program was to be cherished, wasn't it? Oh, a bit of Doctor Who, even a bit of Doctor Who going wrong was better than nothing.
It was just good. It was just good, and that whole thing. And I don't know. This was. As I said last week on our overview, I love season 21. I think it works beautifully, and I think The Awakening is such a strong part of that.
Integral part of it, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of variety in this season, which is nice
Yeah.
as well, I think, you know.
Oh, there really is.
Yeah.
There really is. I want to talk about Glyn Houston as well, who's making a long-awaited reappearance in Doctor Who. Now, it's lovely to see him in this.
Yeah, he's got a good role.
Yeah, he does. And again, it's a typical Dennis Lill role. It's a nice guy, and he's going down the wrong path at one point, isn't he? And then suddenly he wakes up, he comes to his senses.
Yeah.
And again, it's another lovely actor just doing something brilliant with something on the page. He's just so good. It's lovely to see him, isn't it? Now, this is his last time in Doctor Who, isn't it? Correct me.
Yeah. It's the last time, I love the bit when they capture Tegan and he said, "Do you have to enjoy yourself quite so much?" I love all that. When he's really getting into grabbing Tegan and he's like, "Oh, come on now," you know. It's like,
I know, come on, we do live in the 20th century.
Yeah. So it's really good.
You've got Dennis Lill's character, Sir George, is a complete lunatic, unhinged. You've got Polly James' character, who's a nice lady and the school teacher trying to, work out what's going on. And his role is a little bit between, isn't he? Because he's loyal to Sir George to a certain extent, but not to that level. It's like, no, I can't do that. This is wrong. And then you've got Willow, who's sadistic. So the four guest characters have all got distinct personalities and distinct kind of roles to play, haven't they? And it works well, especially in a two-parter,
Polly James, though, this got me. I was laughing the other day when I watched it. Don't say this, love. Don't say, "Right, I'm going to the police." It's like, no, don't say that. Don't tell them that. Just go to the police. Don't tell them. Because you'll be in trouble if you say that. Yeah, and she was. Yeah.
Polly James, of course, for me at this particular point, I always associated with the Liver Birds.
Yeah, definitely.
I loved Polly James.
She's really good in this, actually.
Yeah, she was really good, and it was lovely to see her coming into this. It was as though Doctor Who was collecting the set of the Liver Birds, But it's nice to see her coming in there. But you know what? She's just so suited to this role. Yeah. She is so suited to this story, and she gives us a fantastic character who's so down to earth.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that the relationship she builds with the Doctor, the relationship she builds up with Glyn Houston's character, it's just so natural. And the fact that she knows she's out of her depth and she actually admits it. I love that. But she's got this beautiful open mind, hasn't she?
I love her trying to work out, between the lines what's going on. So a spaceship from Harco came to Little Hodcombe, and she's like,
really,
it's lovely performance. It's just really good. She's really, and it's a nice straight performance as well. There's some comic moments in it, but this is very straight from her character in the Liver Birds, isn't it? Compared to that, it's a lovely kind of dramatic role for her, I think, which is nice.
It shows how good an actress she is.
Yeah.
And when the Doctor says to her, I know it's more likely to be a reconnaissance vehicle, and she's like, "Oh, why didn't I know that?" I was like, "Why didn't I guess that?" She's
of course,
a really good performance, and she can scream really well at the end of episode 1. She got a great scream into the cliffhanger.
That
must have been a D&T thing. Keep it going, love. Keep it going.
It's a very bizarre thing to do, isn't it? But she does it well. That whole time.
It's like Bonnie and Turn the Verboids, isn't it?
Do you know the other thing I like about it as well? I mean, I really love this character. Again, it's another one of those characters I wouldn't have been upset had she clambered aboard the TARDIS and gone off. Because I think the relationship between her and the Fifth Doctor would have been amazing, and it would have been a little bit less combative than we were used to at this particular point.
It's good by the idea we talked about before about Evelyn Smythe, that kind of having an older character in the TARDIS would have been great.
Yes.
But they were too chicken to do it,
And certainly had that happened, when we're going down into the what if territory, aren't we, Who? Forgive us. But had Polly James gone into that as her character, she wouldn't have had the nonsense from the Sixth Doctor that Perry put up with.
Yeah.
So that would have also
good point.
Well, she's from Liverpool. She'll never get to be strangled by the Doctor. She'd sort herself out. She'd be fine.
It's these other little touches that Polly James does. I noticed for the first time today, and it's been a while since I've watched The Awakening, I will admit, but it's been little touches. The bit where Polly and Janet are on the what's it called, the cart with the horse, and they're off to the Queen of the May thing.
Yeah,
and Tegan looks at Jane. She looks at her, and Jane just takes her hand. That's Polly James just improvising there. Just saying, it's okay. You're all right.
Yeah.
It's just these lovely. And again, these two characters at that point, the two women have got together, haven't they? They're starting to realize that they're in danger here, and the bonding, as it were. It's really, it's just lovely. And Polly James is just wonderful in this. I can't praise her enough, actually.
Yeah, I like it.
More of Polly James. See, Braddock is saying to us, yes, Polly James was yet another companion we were denied. It's weird, isn't it, through Doctor Who history when we spot potential companions and then it doesn't happen. It's happened a lot through the 20s.
Quite a lot
in the new version as well.
Yeah, but the Davis, I remember when as a small child watching the Davison era, Richard Mace, Todd in Kinder. There was even, I'm trying to think, there was others, wasn't there? Other examples of people that you think could have perhaps joined up at the, at the time, and arguably offered a bit more to the dynamic of the crew, really.
Exactly.
Yeah. I was going to say that. No disrespect to the actors played Turlough and Tegan, etc. Someone like Richard Mace would have been a wonderful breath of fresh air, wouldn't he? Yeah, you know what I mean? So,
definitely.
Again, a historical character.
We
said that when we reviewed the Visitation as well. John Roberts is saying Polly James and Nerys Hughes and Pauline Collins were all in Doctor Who and the Liverbirds, correct? Did Elizabeth Esterseen ever appear in Doctor Who? I don't think she did. She didn't. No, Elizabeth Esterseen. No. I saw Elizabeth Esterseen in a play. It might have been Shirley Valentine. It might not have been, but it was in Brighton years later. And because a mate of mine was working at the theatre back then, I got to meet her backstage, so that because we were all going for a drink, after the show. So I got to meet her, and she was lovely. She was so lovely, and all I could think of was the Liverbirds, and she knows that as well. Apparently, she went into Emmerdale for years as well.
Yeah, I think she did. Yeah.
For all of that, think, oh my God, I remember you in the multicolored stockings and all this sort of stuff.
It's that era, isn't it? It's that era, definitely.
Yeah, she was never in Doctor Who. It's such a shame. Stephen O'Neill has said to us that this is the only story starring Davison which he did not provide a DVD commentary for. He must have been working.
Oh, right. I don't know if he's done a new one for the Blu-ray set. I'll need to check the details on it. He may have done. You never know.
I think he'd like this story, wouldn't he? Being out on location and all the sunshine. I bet he has fond memories of it, and it was a cracking story as well. I think he's gone on record saying he preferred season 21 to 20 and 19, didn't he? So no doubt this was one of the reasons why.
Well, here we go. Woodhouse telling us that Davison and Janet Fielding have done a new commentary on the story for the new season 21 box set.
There we are. Yes.
That'd be interesting to listen to all these years later.
Yeah, all those years afterwards. Go away.
Yeah. That'd be quite interesting. And Stephen O'Neill, the cameo part of Tegan's grandfather, Andrew Verney, was offered to Maurice Denham. But he passed because the role was too small. I didn't know that.
And then we got him as Asmail instead.
Yeah. He turns up later on, doesn't he? I never knew that.
Yeah, no.
That would explain why he got Twin Dilemma.
Yeah.
It is a small role, but again,
Yeah, Maurice Denham's a great actor as well. He'd been wonderful in it, even with the small part.
Yeah. Oh, we said last week, didn't we? He's one of the highlights of the Twin Dilemma, isn't he? No matter what you think of the story, his performance in that is top.
Yeah.
There's a movie he did in the 60s called Two-Way Stretch, and it's got Peter Sellers and Bernard Cribbins, and it's about he's like the governor from Porridge in that, and he's lovely, really in it. Really nice. Great actor. Lovely. Yeah.
Definitely.
Hey, Rodney Strickler is saying, hi guys, sorry I'm late. You're forgiven. I love The Awakening, but a side question about Kamelion. What happens to him in Frontios when Tractatus pulled the TARDIS apart? God knows.
Well.
Oh, no, really? Is that on the new Blu-ray?
On the front, yeah. I mentioned that, if you remember, in the Overview 21 that we did last week. There's a bit in it where they pull the TARDIS together, and you see bits of the TARDIS coming together, like the cloister room and the bit where in Castrovalva where the Zero Room used to be, with the pillars and that bizarre hexagonal thing they had. And next to the hexagonal thing is standing Kamelion like that. It's a bit fan wag, but it's funny though. It really is. But,
he's basically going there. What the hell's just happened?
What's going on?
What was that, man? Woo! There you go, Rodney. That's what happened to him, we think. And Hartnell's Ghost is saying, part of me envies youngsters like Graham reading the novel before being able to watch a repeat and looking forward to it. I was the opposite, having seen all the Hartnells and put Hartnell to Pertwee stories on original
transcription. Ghost, very envious. Can you imagine?
Going back to Kamelion Frontios, I always thought it was a hat stand, to be honest, but that was just me. But
he could have changed into it, couldn't he?
Hat stand crazy,
Turlough waved him about, wasn't
he? Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous decision.
Here's the
taking
thing.
them on board.
Am I right? Am I right in thinking though, in the Awakening, does the Doctor save the day? Really, or does Will pushing Sir George into the thing save into the Malus? What really happens?
I think you're right, because the doctor warns Will, doesn't he? Because Will says we'd be better if he was dead.
I'm not sure. I could be wrong.
And then he takes the lead and does it. So, but the doctor tries to stop him from doing it. So probably right. You're probably.
Yeah, I took it to mean that he's linked with the Earth's broken, so George is dead. So that's the end of that sort of thing. So and again, going back to the demons, a little bit like Joe offering sacrifice to Azrael, isn't it? So there's a little kind of thing there. Yeah.
Yeah, doesn't he say when they're in the TARDIS at the end that it's been destroyed and this is the reason why? Yeah.
Don't know. Can't remember.
It's a bit of a techno-babblic explanation, though, isn't it? It's a bit kind of gobbledygooky, isn't it?
Because it's rough, isn't it? Again, you know.
Yeah.
We've got this as well. Louis Wright saying to us here, Louis Wright, do you think if the modern Doctor Who returned to the classic style and format, would it be as if not more popular? I barely see kids talk about Doctor Who today. Yeah, the audience is gone, as we know. Yeah. But do I think if Doctor Who returned to a classic style and format, would it work? I absolutely do. I think 30 minutes is the way to go. 30-minute episodes and cliffhangers. Not all the stuff we've had in recent years where it's one episode per story. Let's do the proper way. And let's have, I don't know, 8 or 9 stories in a season, 4 episodes per story, like we used to do.
Well, if they're talking about people's attention spans, 25 minutes is much shorter and less time I have to concentrate. So bang, 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 that's what you want.
I mean, I go as far as saying we're living proof that it did work, didn't it? Because we're here talking about it from 40 odd years, 48 years later, discussing it, you know, and having a cracking time, pick a story, you know. And I remember at school, it did kind of go in and out of fashion a bit, but I remember season 21, I had a couple of friends who were into the program, not to my level of passion, but were very interested in the program, and they watched 21 as opposed to 20 and enjoyed it a lot more. You know, people talked about the resurrection of the Daleks, and I think we were talking last week about the individual stories, and everyone, well, a couple of friends at school really, you know, talked about his episodes quite a lot, and it appeared to be getting some kind of a vibe with the children at the time.
Yeah. I think you're right. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, it was big. I mean, we're talking here. We're getting around about 7 million viewers.
Yeah.
Midweek. This is 1984. EastEnders had just started.
Yeah. Long time ago. But they're good numbers, aren't they? They're good fit. I mean, obviously it's different kind of well back then, but it was a popular feel, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's quite surprising that literally 18 months later on we're on hiatus. It was astonishing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the other thing, isn't it? But no, it's good stuff, this. And season 21, fully bodied episodes here, as we're saying, and the Awakening, as we say, very important part of this, in the sense it feels part of season 21. You've got a very confident Doctor. You've got a setup which wasn't to be repeated again, I don't think, with all this sort of mystery and the psychic stuff and all this. And I think I'm right in saying as well, this is the last time we go to a modern day British village.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Can't think anymore.
There is a village in Mark of the Rani, but that's in the past.
Yeah.
And
you can't count Perryvale and Survival, can you? That's not really a village.
Well, Perryvale's not a village, is it? It's it's a town, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's that traditional element of a Britain.
Yeah.
That's hopefully being protected in those bits, that hidden in England. But it's nice to see it, isn't it? Really,
Definitely.
It is.
Quintessential Doctor Who, wasn't it? I thought definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know, but looking back at it, I remember at the time thinking, I really want to see this one because it's like I say, it's set in a little village and it's going to be bright and open and exciting, and it was, cracking.
It was, yeah. Thanks for the question, Louis. The Malus was already dying in the TARDIS is funky, absolutely. You've got to dump the soap opera romance as Farsight. Well, I'm going to agree with you on that one, my friend. Absolutely. Yeah. Stephen O'Neill is saying that Polly James has said she was baffled by the story. Yeah, well, I'm not surprised, but it comes across in the character, so that's fine.
Not to the same way as Beryl Reid.
Beryl Reid, yeah.
Oh, no, that was... Not at all. Lou again saying it. I agree with that. And I think they need to drop the cinematic feel modern Doctor Who has. It feels dated now, but classic, while very distinct, feels quite timeless, and you can approach it in numerous ways. One of the reasons why it's timeless as well, the original Doctor Who from the 26 years, is because it doesn't do anything and worry about anything except story.
Yeah.
So you get swept along over 4 or 6 or 2 episodes, depending on the story, and you become part of it. And that's why it was a massive success back in the day, because you had that cliffhanger, which meant you had to come back the week after to find out what had happened. And if you missed one, World War III would break out. You couldn't miss it, could you? Because you wouldn't know what was happening the following week.
Yeah. I think that's so true, JT, because like us three here, I bet we could all remember that you're watching an episode and it ended on a cliff. I'm thinking of Tom falling into the black pool in Planet of Evil, and I'm thinking, oh no, it's finished. I can't wait 7 more days.
Yeah.
What's going to happen? Sarah Jane falling from the platform, or the various things happening. You just couldn't wait for the 7 days, and it was an integral part of the program's success.
Even with this, though, I mean, we're now looking at Doctor Who being on 2 days consecutive. So this is the 19th and the 20th of January. But I remember thinking, even though that wasn't a very strong cliffhanger for part 1, it didn't matter, because it was you only had the day after to come back. You were going to come back and see it. It was part and parcel of what the show was.
I always thought bizarrely it was a bit like when they show Batman in the States. It was like Tuesdays and Thursdays, like same back time, same back channel. I always felt a bit like that kind of idea that we come back tomorrow night to watch it.
Yeah. And Woodhouse saying to us 25 minutes work for the Sarah Jane Adventures. It would easily work for Doctor Who now. And Sean Cryer, it needs to move back to multi-part stories. The length of episodes is immaterial. Although I do think that now 30 minutes would be better. This whole hour stuff. I mean, even I get bored in an hour. I think, oh God, is this done yet? With 30 minutes, speaking selfishly for myself, I can cope. I could cope, and I think there must be a lot of people like me that do that. I mean, get it done and then bring it back the next night or the week after, and just have 30 minutes in a schedule. Quite nice. There you go.
I think you need to spread it out, because there's something I've said before. I think having back to back isn't necessarily a good thing in terms of output, because it's gone too quickly and the series doesn't establish itself as much as it used to. And I think I said last time, I think that's partly why I think Doctor Who was kind of losing interest a little bit even then, because of the fact it was on too little a little bit. Doctors weren't staying long enough, kind of thing, so it lost its way a little bit. I think
it was great for the BBC, and it worked for the BBC because they could get it out of the way in 3 months. That's fine. But actually, no, if they kept it, once a week, it does build up that audience.
You get 6 months of it, don't you? And then sometimes it comes back in the next January, or sometimes it was like the autumn or whatever. So there's lots of Doctor Who throughout the year, not just a couple of months, which is a shame,
And I think that the move away from Saturdays, although we're digressing somewhat, but the move away from Saturday was quite a big deal at the time, wasn't it? Because
it worked for them, though, Graham.
It did.
Of Saturdays, wasn't it? And then suddenly, but it was big, wasn't it? I mean, it was such an important part. I mean, we've talked about it before, but I remember like it going back. You wake up Saturday morning, put on Swap Shop. And if you were lucky, Tom would be on there with Liz or with Louise Jameson, and you'd be counting the hours till they came back on that night at 5 o'clock or 5:30. It was, a lovely Saturday all round, really. But of course, time's changed. But I think Paul's made a very good point. It wasn't on long enough. January to the end of March, you say, between Twin Dynamo finished it. So 3 months and we're done. 21 finished.
That's it. It's much like today, where they're all doing things for 8 episodes for an hour. I would say to them all, no. Look at something like The Awakening and how it works, and traditional Doctor Who and how that works. And I would say to them, well, look, instead of messing around with the hours and all this sort of stuff and just giving us 8, do a series of 26 episodes at 30 minutes each and have 7 stories in it.
I mean, don't get me wrong. When I watch season 21, I love the fact you see it really quickly, because I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to see it, kind of thing. You're really excited about it. But I just think for the general audience, they're not weeds, they're kind of semi-regular viewers, it would have more of an impact, I think.
It made more of a, it soaked into culture more, didn't it?
Yeah.
It was on, we go back to like season 18 and prior to that 17, 16, 15, it was more, like you say, it was just on more and kind of made more made more of an impact, I think, you know. And of course,
I think
going
that's
back-
partly why it probably did so well in the 60s, because it was on like 42
Yeah.
weeks of the year, you know, that really made a huge impact on the world, you know.
And everybody knew it. Everybody knew Doctor Who. And that's why here we are in 1984 with The Awakening, and it's still living off that because people have grown up with the show.
Yeah.
You've got a couple of generations involved in the show by this particular point. It's brilliant. We've got Farsight saying that it would also help if they stopped trying to make Doctor Who into something it isn't, like Buffy or Marvel. Totally agree with that. And again, you know, the whole point of The Awakening being an example, it's not doing anything except being Doctor Who. It's telling a story. It's not become, like Ian would say, Third Doctor Ian would say, it's become self-aware. It knows what it is. This Doctor Who doesn't. All it's trying to do is entertain, which is wonderful. We need to go back to good stories and dump anything related to today's trends as they date it quicker than anything. That's why the classics are timeless, says Steve Braddock. I've been saying that for ages, mate. You know, everything's dated in the new version, whereas here we're in 1984. It's set in 1984, and you don't blink because you know it's 1984 and it's fine. And it doesn't feel dated for some reason.
But it doesn't scream 1984 in the same way 2005 screams 2005. You know what I mean?
Around Frankie said relaxed t-shirts or something, is there? It's not like that 84. It's like,
the Doctor's not name dropping TV shows and stuff like that constantly. You know what I mean? So
you don't need that. You don't need that, do you really?
Exactly.
What I liked in The Awakening as well, and obviously it's not just this story, but there's no magic wand, there's no magic science screwdriver. It's not. You know, the characters have to get their own problems out. You know, Turlough smashing the life out the door and stuff. There's no magic wands. There's no reliance on magic screwdrivers or anything like that, which was quite good. You know,
exactly. Legion of James saying, I like the 25 minutes and the cliffhanger. The cliffhanger is a traditional important element of Doctor Who. And although RTD in the modern series tried to say, oh, we've put it in the pre-credits thing now, it's not the same. I think it needs to be that, and I think it needs to have 3 of them.
It's not. That's the thing, because when they first did it, you had that lovely, let's say, The Unquiet Dead, that little pre-title sequence with the woman with the screaming thing, you know, coming towards the camera. That worked quite well. But as they went on further onto it, they made the cold open, where it's called longer, but you just lost interest in what was going on. There was no cliffhanger at that point. It just got longer. You know what I mean? So you're right that the original cliffhangers are a real staple of Doctor Who, which goes right back to kind of all those wonderful Flash Gordon serials back in the 30s and stuff like that. Wonderful stuff.
And when you think, Paul, of cliffhangers of the past, they weren't always about jeopardy. They were about things like Sarah Jane being on a spaceship in the Invasion of the Dinosaurs, or what how's that happened? You know, or the box being opened in Kinder. They weren't like anyone in danger, but they were really intriguing. They were the kind of what was it about? It just kind of like it made you want to return to these stories quickly, even though there is no peril as such. But I mean, the one about the Sarah Jane on the spaceship thingy, when I first watched Invasion of the Dinosaurs as an adult, and wow, you know, that's what is going on. 1 minute they're on Earth, next minute a spaceship. Well, really, you know, and it's just a strange kind of cliffhanger. But this, if New Who hasn't got,
but it draws you in, doesn't it?
There's no opportunity for that, is there? You
know, we've got a lovely memory here from Steve Andrews in the chat saying, I hated it when it went to weekdays twice a week, as I missed every other episode, as I was in the army cadets. Oh, bless you. Oh, that's terrible. And you had to wait years, I guess, for you to catch up, Steve. Yeah, that was one of the reasons that people objected when it was announced it was going to be taken away from Saturdays, because the kids had things to do in the week and not necessarily on a Saturday evening. But as I say, the ratings for Doctor Who picked up in the Peter Davison era. They stayed healthy for Colin's first series as well when it moved back to Saturday because of that, because it had built up a sort of audience. But yeah, I can feel your pain there, my friend. I really do. Aaron Reed saying to us, they should never have put Doctor Who on a Friday night. Every Friday episode took a drop in the ratings except Caves Part 4. And most of your audience were getting ready for a night out. Oh, is that what it was? I can't remember what the days were. I didn't look it up. 19th and 20th of January 1984 for this one. So it's a Thursday and Friday. And of course, Thursday would have been Top of the Pops night as well.
Oh, yeah.
I think they jumped about at the start of the season,
they
didn't
did,
they? Yeah, so they were, And then Wednesday for Resurrection, I think, for the one night they were on a Wednesday.
Yeah, but they were 45 though, weren't they? They had to be on the Wednesday because of the Olympics.
Well, I mean, they did jump about the schedule. I think they were Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then the Thursday, Friday. You know what I mean? It was all over.
We know why.
We know why. Help breed loyalty or anything to the Notwees. They probably didn't even aware. Monday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night. That
didn't matter to them, Graham, because what the BBC were doing with Doctor Who in 1982 and 83 was trying to find the time slot where the viewers would be for EastEnders.
Yeah, but Graham's right though that if you have to try and find the show, you're going to lose viewers. If people don't know where it is, that's going to make it really alienate the viewers a little bit. I can't find. I missed it. I was on last night. I thought it was on tonight. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
They didn't care. The BBC didn't care about that.
They don't care. No,
don't care about that today.
Yeah.
It's a shame because I mean, I think it was such a good season. What we said last week, 21 was such a strong set of stories. It had a bit of almost something for everyone. There was returns with returning foes. There was new iconic new monsters and new foes, new villains, and it was really going on a high. I thought I loved it as a kid.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to think now that there were 2 episodes in a story. Two 25-minute episodes, but Peter's had 3. This is his third.
Yeah.
And the last. As you were saying in the chat, unless you include the Ultimate Foe, which we do on this channel, because the Ultimate Foe will be reviewed separately to Terror of the Vervoids. So I mean that is but they're quite brave, the 2-parters, aren't they? And I think the Awakening is brave because we know the story. We talked about the background of it. They were struggling with it. I think it pulls it off though beautifully.
Oh, right then. Yeah. Like Paul said, although I was talking about it'd be nice, maybe longer. I love long stories, so I could watch anything going forever and ever. But for a Notwee, it's lovely. It's a proper story, 2 parts, short and sharp, but it doesn't sag in the middle. There's no padding, and it just tells a good story. So I'd imagine for just a casual fan or a casual viewer would love it. Just wondering though, did we say that potentially it was going to be a 4-parter?
Yes, it was supposed to be a 4-parter at first, but the script from Eric Pringle wasn't developing correctly.
Would that have meant that a later story would have gone down to a 2-parter then, I wonder? Hello? Anyone there? Well, talk about yourself. Anyone there?
Hello, sorry about that.
We're back.
There.
Go on, I'm glad we're back.
Yeah, go on, carry on. I want to say hello to Cyber FM there. Hello, Cyber FM. Nice to see you. Will was an icon. Yeah. So go on. Sorry, what were you saying there?
No, I was just wondering. Well, if it had stayed at a 4-parter, this particular story, The Awakening, I wonder if the other stories, obviously Resurrection, Planet of Fire, Caves, and Twin, would any of those gone down to a 2-parter? I wonder, would that have been the plan? Was there, or would it not have got as far advanced as that? Probably wouldn't have been that advanced down the road.
I don't think they would have got advanced as that. No. I think Eric Saywood was quite sort of frustrated with John's. Right, it's not working. Times are against us. Bang, get it done as a 2.
Yeah.
I might be talking out of hand there, but it's the feeling I get that he was just a bit sort of, I would have liked to have tried to work with Eric Pringle in developing it a bit more.
Okay.
But we know the stories of the old Doctor Who. They were up against everything, weren't they? Lack of money, lack of time. Got to get it done. You've got to
lack of writers as well, to some extent as well.
Was this written chronologically? Was it written in order? Was it Warriors of the Deep first, followed by The Awakening, followed by Frontiers?
No. They would write them all at the same time.
Yeah. What was production first like? Was the Warriors obviously notorious for having big behind the scenes problems?
Warriors of the Deep went into production first.
So they just finished that. The Awakening's on the they couldn't afford any more delays or problems. So I suppose in a way, from Eric's point of view and John's point of view, just get it made, get it done, and move on to Frontiers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think any of these stories in this season were done out of order, unlike sort of season 19. Like Forge of Doomsday being first instead of Capture of Alba. I think it was kind of done in order. Yeah.
Lots of memories coming in from the chat here as well. Woodhouse122 saying to us, I got to see all the Davis episodes live, but sometimes I had to watch the black and white portable in the bedroom, as sometimes it was clashed with Crossroads, which my mum would never miss. Yeah. Depends which ITV region you were in as well, weren't you? Because there were loads of stuff that ITV threw at this thing.
Yeah. That's what happened. I think when it used to be on a Saturday, ITV's regions didn't actually get their act together. That's why Doctor Who won most of the time, and they had on different regions, different sci-fi shows or different shows competing with Doctor Who. So, but they didn't come together and put just Buck Rogers on until the 80s, and then that's when it started. The Rock kicked in a little bit with that, but before that, there were so many different things on they had no main competition on all the ITV regions, so that's why it won, I think, in the end. You know,
I recall Paul being at school in season 18, and the friends at school would all say, "You've got to watch Buck Rogers," and I said, "No, I'm watching Warriors Gate. I've no idea what it's about, but I'm watching Warriors Gate.
yeah.
I'm not going to be disloyal."
Yeah, but I was like that.
The thing about Buck Rogers is, I know we're digressing slightly, but Buck Rogers, I got on DVD recently, watched it. The space sequences are amazing. Then you cut to the studio and it's all disco. You know, it's a bit, you know,
I've not seen
really.
it.
So it's not as brilliant as people seem to remember. You know what I mean? So
now, that actually reminds me of a point I wanted to talk about, bringing us back to the Awakening. Lex, thanks for your super chat there. I don't know what happened there, but Paul and I got booted for a couple of seconds there, but never mind. Hope it didn't affect your viewing pleasure, everybody. But yeah,
it frightened me, I'll tell you.
You're on your own, Graham. I thought there. But well done for keeping it going. Yeah,
that point there, coming back to the Awakening, it's not as jarring this time round between film and studio for me.
Yeah.
Because the film bits, as usual, are fabulous. It's gorgeous.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of those film bits, and just suddenly the memory. Oh, it was a gorgeous summer in '83. But then you get into the studio bits, and because the sets are so good and the lighting is not too bad on this as well, on this particular one, it doesn't jar as much like they can do sometimes between a studio set, you know, and location. I appreciate that from Michael Owen Morris. I think he might have done something there, you know, on This Is Only Doctor Who as well, by the way. You know,
I think it's a lot to do with the atmosphere of the lighting, particularly. The lighting's really good on this as well. When you cut from, you know, from location into the church, into studio and stuff, the lighting's lovely and atmospheric. I think that helps a lot as well, I think, with it, you know?
Yeah, it's just, and even though there's a lot of dry ice in this episode at one point, and I hate dry ice, it just works.
Yeah.
So I think they all think, right, fantastic. Congratulations to everybody who worked on these episodes, because it just looks great. And it stands up. Here we are in 2024. No, we're not, 2026. And we're looking at something from 1984, and it stands up. It looks really good. You know, and you can, as I say, you can watch it now and you just think, yeah, this is great. This is okay. This is good. This is Doctor Who.
Proper Doctor Who, isn't it? Proper Doctor Who.
It's recognizable as well. As I say, you could show this to any not-wees, whether it be in your family or your mates or whoever it's going to be, and they would go, "Oh yeah, I know what this is."
Yeah.
Lex is saying, "Go on."
Like you said, JT, that the score, the musical score, is quite nice for it, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Like you say, so it's just proper mid-80s Doctor Who, early 80s Doctor Who, should we say? Quality stuff for a good period of time.
Yeah, Lex is saying for the super chat. Tegan never mentioned about her uncle until this episode. Yeah, we spoke about that at the top of the show, Lex. And you know, it's funny, as everybody in the chat was saying, you know, you could have a whole show about Tegan's family, because we had her cousin in the season before. We know what happened to her aunt.
I'm just glad the Master's not in this one, because her granddad would be in trouble, wouldn't he? Let's be honest.
He would, yeah. That's that one. Lovely location shots in The Awakening, says Cyber FM. I love the behind the scenes DVD feature where they painted the church onto glass to make it appear like it was somewhere else. It's so simple but so effective. That's how they used to do it before CGI.
It is good, isn't it? It looks really realistic, doesn't it? Yeah.
Well, I never knew at the time. It was years later. They used the glass pane there. I remember hearing about that. Who was it that told me? Somebody at a convention. And I remember going, what?
Didn't they do it in Android Tara, didn't they? On Counts the castle in Android Tara. But,
yes, they did as well.
That one. But I never would have known The Awakening at that point, because it was when they were actually showing The Awakening at a convention I was in. I think it was Liverpool, might have been Manchester, one of those, and they were showing The Awakening because that's the story that they'd chosen. And that bit there was done on a glass. I was so impressed. I was.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe it. I was like, really? That's
very inventive, wasn't it, back in the day? Very inventive.
Yeah. Well, you had to be, didn't you? And that was an old trick, of course. They did in Star Wars all the time, didn't they?
Yeah.
All that sort of stuff. Let's have a look at what's in the chat here. Woodhouse122 is saying, it looks great on the season 21 box set, even though I haven't seen the new FX set yet. So, Paul, you have.
Yeah, what are they like, Paul?
Well, the thing about it is they've been quite subtle with them, because there's not many special effects in it, really. No. So let's say the General Malus, the one that comes through the wall, that's been left untouched as far as I remember. The little pixie one that's in the TARDIS, You know, you probably remember there's a bit of like BBC Micro
the
special
little-
effects on the original, so they've tidied that up a little bit so it looks less clunky with that sort of pixelation thing they did. So they've done some stuff with that. And if you remember
Like
the yeah, so that they've made the special effects on that, the kind of visuals on it a bit more modern looking, but nothing too over the top. It's subtle enough to not be too jarring. And they've also done a little work, you know, the kind of, I can't remember if it's an old man or old lady with a long hair that
Yeah,
greets
the old
Tegan
man.
in the barn. That they've changed that ever so slightly and updated that ever so slightly. But apart from that, not an awful lot. So that one's been quite subtle. So there's not many things, but they work well. I think they don't.
Good.
They're not too over the top or too kind of jarring. So I think they've done a really good job on that. But like I said, there's not a lot of effects in it really. I won't bore you with other things. I watched Caves of Androzani the other day. The magma creature's great, but the spaceships I'm not so keen on. But anyway,
All
that's
right.
just me. But yeah, so
Yeah.
some of it works, some of it doesn't. When they keep changing them, it depends on your personal preference. But this one, I think they've done it subtly enough to make it work and not be too jarring, and it brings up to date nicely, not too like, oh my god, I can't watch that.
Yeah.
So it's nice. It's well done, I would say. Yeah.
Well, that's good to know. I mean, is it put together as 2 episodes or 1 episode now?
Well, it's always been 2 episodes, isn't it?
No, have they kept it as 2 episodes or have they put it together as 1 episode?
Oh no, it says 2. The option is update special effects, so it's not like Warriors of the Deep. It's not like a special edition.
Right.
It's just you can add the effects on it like they have done with other ones
Right.
in the past. So it's not. It's just 2 episodes as it would have been with the option to have. If you click on the option, you get the special effects. If you don't click it on, you have the original. That's simple
Right.
as that. Yeah.
There we
so,
go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I like those when they do those alternatives.
Yeah.
Very bright and colourful as opposed to the drab and dark resurrection from us and even caves, said Rodney. Yeah, you're right, Mr. Trilley. I mean, that's the brilliant thing about this. This is a moment of sort of as near traditional Doctor Who as you're going to get, damn it, before you go on to everything changing, because everything from Frontios there on in is one big long day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really, when you think about it, because Frontios goes straight into Resurrection of the Daleks. Resurrection of the Daleks goes straight into Planet of Fire. Planet of Fire goes straight into the Caves of Androzani, and the Caves of Androzani goes straight into the Twin Dilemma. That's a hell of a long day for the Doctor. No wonder he's generating at the end. He's knackered. Yeah. You know, the 6th Doctor eventually is going, right, I need a bed. Where am I going? It's a long. It is in effect one long day. You could argue there's a break between Planet of Fire and Caves of Androzani. I don't, because Perry's in the same outfit.
They probably should have gone straight to Blackpool after Twin Dilemma. Give the Doctor a holiday. That way, yeah. So.
The Awakening Monster is amazing, says Lex for a super chat. Thank you, Lex. Yes, the Malus is great. And I'm going to say again, when I saw it in the Blackpool exhibition in 84 and again in 85, I was still impressed about it a couple of times. And I'm sure I saw it years later somewhere else. Was it Llangollen? Could it have been Llangollen viewers? I don't know. I'm sure I saw it years later. I was just thinking, that's still looking good, you know? Great sort of stuff. What else we got in the chat? It's great to see you. Thank you all for joining. There's another one from Lex here for a super chat. The rich man whose main villain likes Civil War costumes, power mad. He's very scary when you watch it now because there's an awful lot of people acting like him today.
Yeah.
To be honest,
I quite like the bit when the Doctor finds the little Malus sculpted into the wood in the church bit, so it indicated it's like this, the long reaching effects of it. You know, it's now carved into wood and stuff, which was quite nice.
What did she say? That's supposed to be a representation of the devil.
The devil. Yeah,
it's like that kind of folklore thing, isn't it? Yeah,
Love that.
It's quite folk horror, isn't it? This story, which is right.
It is. Yeah. But this is an example, really, of what could be done in Doctor Who in any new version of the series that's about to come along. Is that you could look at it folklore. They tried it in the Cutie Gatwa era. They didn't quite pulling it off. But, you know, they could look at the folklore and how myths and legends have, like the Malus is an alien that dropped into Little Hodcombe and became part of the myths and legends of the village by being the devil. It's there, you know, and it's just been passed down through generations, but it's still there. That's a good science fiction premise. They could learn from things like looking at the Awakening.
And traditionally, Doctor Who's been great at that, hasn't it? Great at this kind of, you know, it's been such a traditional part of the 26 years of proper Who. We had that on a regular occurrence, you know, and it was really good to have that. I used to like that when I was a kid, you know, realizing that the aliens were you know, a part of, you know, the mythology of the times.
Mark Wright is saying to us, the Davison two-parters gave us the chance to experience a complete story in a week, which felt such a novelty at the time. That's why I think they were a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
To be honest, because in our day, well, in the Davison days, of course, the four-parter was spread over 2 weeks. I think it contributed to the Davison series being so successful and fresh, in a sense, because it felt different. All of the Davison era felt different.
Yeah.
I
And
wonder
it's
if it
really
had been
exciting.
spread over just once a week for 6 months, if it would have had on a Tuesday night, whatever, if it would have an effect on the ratings or not.
We'll never know.
Yeah, I
Maybe.
wonder. Yeah.
But I think you're right, JT, because we hadn't had a two-part, I think, it's a Sontaran experiment, had we? So such a long time had passed before we got Black Orchid. Then the following year,
Well, there was a fuss over that as well, Graham. Yeah. Oh gosh, the first Black Orchid. The first historical. Blah blah blah. Oh
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, by the Awakening, we're used to it, and you're sort of expecting a two-parter.
Yeah. I was at the time. I was, I'd enjoyed the previous two, so I was very much looking forward to this one.
Well, Woodhouse is saying to us, I like the new replacement effects on some of the stories, but on a few stories, they've dated worse than the original ones. That's the problem with CGI.
Yeah, I agree with that completely.
I do as well.
Horrifying Rock, for instance, is an example of that. I found that the actual effects themselves were good, but they were a bit too updated.
Right. Yeah, and they will date. They absolutely will date. Because CGI does date. I was saying in one of our shows recently, if you look at the huge film Titanic from 1999, CGI is terrible. There's another one of my favorite films, Harrison Ford's in Air Force One. The CGI of Air Force One crashing onto the sea, bloody awful. But at the time we were all like, "Ooh!" But now when you watch it and all the high 4K quality, wibbly wobbly stuff, it's pathetic. It's awful.
Yeah.
Funky. JT, you could be right about Llangollen. I know I've seen it somewhere, and I went to that exhibition often. It was definitely. It was somewhere. I don't think it was a convention, but way after the Blackpool Exhibition Club, it was somewhere.
There's an extra on the DVD, which was on the Blu-ray. I assume it's on the DVD as well. I think it is. It was dated 2011, where there's a Richard Gregory, who's no longer with us, and the other designer, it might be Tony Hardy, I can't remember, going to see the actual prop, what's left of it at that point, and it just had the face, not the hair that comes out. The face, and they showed you how they manipulated the eyes and how the mouth moved and all that kind of stuff, and it was really fascinating to see the actual prop. So I don't know if it's still got the other bits, but so it was just the head, just the main head, and it was really interesting. We feature it.
I'll have to look that one out again.
Yeah.
I mean, I took the DVD out of the loft for this review. I haven't looked at any of the features on it yet, but it's been a long time since I've watched The Awakening. Because it's actually today watching it again for this review that I reminded myself how good it is and how I quite like it.
Yeah, I did. I was the same. Yeah. I forgot how. Because I always thought to myself, it's like the small two-parter of one of my favourite seasons, but it's a great story on its own accord. I think I really, it would stand up really well. It's in a strong season, though, mine, but it does stand up.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Lex, for this, for your super chat. The village location is great and a lot of greenery. As I said, it just looks gorgeous. And Lex, I was saying before you came into the chat, with a little bit of polish, this could have been an Avengers story.
Like you were saying as well, that the sunny weather makes that raises it up as well. It looks really nice for that
it's
too.
It's funny, Paul, isn't it? Because the weather elevates this one, and the following story, when you've got the rain at the start of Resurrection and Shad Thames, the weather plays a part on the mood of that one, doesn't it?
And the atmosphere, exactly.
It's quite interesting how the weather can if the Awakening had been filmed on a cold, gloomy, grey day, the village setting would look not bad, but not as nice as it does where it's obviously height of summer, and it's lovely. It looks really nice and green and little cottages and stuff. Lovely.
It brings out the whole British quintessentialness and Englishness of the village, where it's supposed to be, isn't it? The sun helps that completely and utterly helps to do that, and that's lovely to see. Had you said it was if they'd had a location? I mean, it was because they were filming in the summer of '83 that helped, but the fact that had they had rain at that particular point, it would have change the atmosphere a little bit more to be able to be a little bit more moody, but it would have been a mess for the actors as well.
It must have rained at some point because of that massive puddle that Tegan walks through.
Down the
which was done in a different village, of course. I love the way they do that. They make this one village, that's this fictional village, is made up of 3 little villages in the area.
Clever,
And
though,
they're
isn't
so
it?
far apart, so
Yeah.
they ran one way, and then within 5 minutes, not the other village. It seems, yeah.
Stephen O'Neill saying to us, it's a great story and often overlooked compared to the other stories of
Yeah,
that
it
season.
is.
It's because it's a two-parter, isn't it? And
Yeah.
it's just there. It's stuck in there. But when
Yeah.
you're coming after Warriors of the Deep, which is famous for one thing, and then you've got Frontios, which is building up to it, which is a heavier story and famous for that. Yeah, poor old Awakening. But it's great that it's getting its a renewal, if you like, through the season 21 box set now, and people can actually rediscover or even indeed discover the Malus. Great.
I wonder, looking at the size of the prop for the actual Malus itself, and there's the little one. I wonder if John ever thought about bringing it back, in another story, because it's a large prop, and it was quite effective, and there's potential there for a rematch, maybe, or another.
Yeah.
You would have to ask more about Eric whether he planned to do that as well.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think Nathan Turner would have gone with it personally.
No,
I think you're right, GT, about this getting a reevaluation because of the box sets. I think that's made a huge difference. So people who maybe didn't like it as much would come back to it a bit fresher and think, actually, like you said yourself, it's really good. And I think these box sets really make that difference to your memory, because you're seeing it this one season as well, which I think is great too.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know, folks, but I'm often, when I read like fandom's opinion of a certain story that's negative, and I think it's one of my favourites. I really like that one.
Never listen to fan wisdom, Graham. That's a myth in itself.
But like you say, JT, I think we can all watch anything from 63 to 89, and no matter what it'll be, we'll find something that says, that's Doctor Who. There'd be something.
Absolutely.
It might be, and we've all got opinion on our favourite stories and lesser ones, but there'd be something in the least popular story, and you'll say, that's my programme. That little part of it is why I love the programme, or and that's great.
Yeah,
exactly. You couldn't get more Little England than Little Hodcombe, and therefore a perfect Doctor Who setting, says Steve Braddock. Cyber FM, there's something about a Doctor Who episode in a quintessential British village that hits right. And talking of right, it's Mark A. Wright, and The Awakening is next on my VHS rewatch. By the time those bulky double cassettes were released, I wasn't really into Doctor Who. I'm now rectifying this. The Blu-ray box sets, damned, VHS all the way. That was the brilliant thing, as we showed in our season 21 overview last week. The Awakening got put into a double VHS box set with Frontios.
Those double box sets were a nightmare to close, weren't they? Like, come on.
Yeah. They were so good. I remember being so excited when they came out and we were like, it's in a box set. Oh, it's great. That's fantastic. And it just fits as well, because it shows you actually that the BBC had a bit of common sense of saying, we don't think a two-part is going to sell, or we'd have to sell it for $7.99. Let's just stick it in with the next 4-parter, and then they've got 6 parts to watch. That'll keep them happy.
No, the Awakening came out on DVD. It's Tegan's Tales, was it? Yeah.
Tegan's Tales, yeah.
Yeah. So
But I know. I thought it was with the gunfighters. It was called Earth Story. I was like,
that you're right, Graham. You're right. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Tegan's Tales is the Mara ones, isn't it? That's right. Yeah.
Really, what is the Awakening and the gunfighters got in common? There's nothing.
That was desperation, clearly. Earth Story.
Earth Story.
Yeah. But they had to package them some way, didn't they? So somebody somewhere had to think about that, bless them.
Yeah.
Hello, Matt Enspiel's with us. Hiya, folks. The Awakening is a gem, and in my honest opinion, holds its own against the heavy hitters in season 21. It does. I mean, it's a lovely story, and it's there. It really is a good part of season 21. And as I say, looking at it now with hindsight, it's the last sort of 5th Doctor stress-free in a sense.
Yeah.
Because it's all downhill from this episode onwards. He's had his cup of tea and he's had, it's all downhill from this moment onwards now, isn't it? Just whoosh for the 5th Doctor. So it's lovely that way. And it's nice that people can reevaluate and find it out again. And there's lots of little moments in it as well, isn't there? It's just good.
There are lots of little comments. I like Will wanting his owl at the end. You mean owl in his nose, doesn't it?
Sounds like an evil brew, don't it? Yeah, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
But my favorite bit with Will is the bit where the doctor, the soldiers are coming and they're at the church, and he grabs him by the scruff of the neck and pulls him in.
Yeah, pulls him
That's
in,
a
yeah.
lovely, lovely moment, which Colin
Yeah.
Baker does, I think, with Terry Malloy later on. I think in
Yeah,
Attack of the Cybermen. Yeah, but
Attack
yeah,
of the Cybermen,
yeah,
into the organ-shaped TARDIS.
that's
But
right.
no,
Yeah, yeah. So,
it's a lovely story. I can't wait to see what you're all going to make of it on Scores on the TARDIS Doors. If you're new to us, this is the part of the show where I ask you to give your marks in the chat out of 10 for The Awakening. Going to ask the guys about that after this. Oh, bless. I've really enjoyed watching and rediscovering The Awakening after all these years. It's really good stuff. We've got this from Farsight, is saying that the novel, The Hollow Men, was a loose sequel to The Awakening and also mentions the demons. Now, I've got that, and I'm sure I read it, and I can't remember it.
Not seen it. Not read it.
I've heard of it, but I've never read it.
It was one of the BBC novels from the Wilderness years. It's upstairs. I'm going to have to go back and look at it. Thanks, Farsight, for reminding me. I did read it, but it's too long ago.
Was it was it a Fifth Doctor story, or was it a different Doctor? Or
I can't remember, Paul. It's too long ago.
Yeah.
It's all upstairs. If I was upstairs, of course, if I was able to get upstairs, I'd be able to look right now at the shelf and tell you. But no, I can't remember. Right, so Graham, start with yourself. For The Awakening, out of 10, what are you going to give this?
I really enjoyed it. I must admit, I rewatched it twice over the last 2 days and read the book as well. So I'm fully familiar with it again, and I enjoyed it.
Great research.
Yeah, I know. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. You know, and I enjoyed it at the time. It's a strong season. But it's got so many good points in it. Great actors, good storyline. A third episode would have been nice, but it would have been weird, 3-episode story in 84. 8 out of 10, and I'm being quite tight really because I've got to be realistic. But no, it's a strong story. It's every inch an 8 out of 10, maybe a bit more, but I'll go for an 8 out of 10.
That's great, and you've inspired me to try and get my Awakening novel from down here, and I'll read it because it's been a long time since I read that as well.
Doesn't add much to it really, but it's well worth the read.
Yeah, Paul, what are you going to give The Awakening out of 10?
Well, as we've kind of all kind of said, I think the story's a bit underrated, and it gets a lot of flack from fandom, but never believe fan wisdom. I'll say that because your taste is your taste. If you like it, you like it. That's the thing.
Exactly.
And I think that it's a great story. I love it, and I loved it at the time. I still love it. I think Davison's really good in this, and like I said, he's the Fifth Doctor at his stride this season, and he gets better and better and better. And the Cage of Adzani, superb. A lot of good actors in this. Dennis Lill, particularly, I love him in this. He's a great performance. And Polly James, who mentioned as well. I'm really fond of this story, and like Graham, I'll give it 8 out of 10 as well. Great story.
Oh, brilliant! I have to agree with both of you actually about what you're all saying there. It's just I'm just glad I've rediscovered it, and I've watched it again after so many years of being away from it, and really enjoyed it. And I think part of that is, of course, as I've always said, I would watch any of the 26 years of original Doctor Who over some of the stuff. In fact, all the stuff they've put out today, which I just found insulting. And I think The Awakening really stressed that point to be able to say, "Oh, look, that's Doctor Who. This is Doctor Who. I'm feeling this is Doctor Who. I love it." I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 as well. So some lovely scores from the panel. Let's have a look and see what they're saying in the chat, gentlemen. With Lex coming in with an excellent story. One of my favourite stories for season 21. It's a shame it wasn't a 4-parter. 9 out of 10.
Oh,
that's fantastic. Well done, you. Wow, here they come. Steve Andrews is giving The Awakening 10 out of 10. Your Robert Payne, a 7. A Malus-tastic 9.5 from John Roberts. I love that. Nolt Russell, 8 out of 10. It was canny. Oh, good for you. Solid 9, says the Cyber FM. Only complaint, it should have been 4 parts. Gosh, I wish John was here now. Bill Lowry, 8 out of 10. Nice little story, but it does feel it should have been a 3-parter. Darren Reed said, I would never subject anyone to a 100 review of the twin dilemma. We're going to have to look at it one day, Darren, on the channel. We certainly are. Woodhouse122, 7 out of 10. Thank you, Woodhouse. Louis is going with an 8 as well. Thank you, Louis Wright. Davey B is saying 6 out of 10 for me. Interesting enough, not amazing, but not rubbish. That was what the thing was with The Awakening. For years and years and years, it was, it's there.
Yeah.
You know? But it did come in a cracking series.
Yeah.
You know, it really did. It's a cracking series. The stories around it, or from this moment on, really good. Chris Kaz, 8 out of 10 for The Awakening. Mark A. Wright, this is a solid 7 out of 10. Not a story one visits often, which is why it retains its freshness. Yes, right there, Mark. A great story to watch when you don't need to be blown away, but want a good, solid story. Yeah. Yeah. As I found out today when I watched it, I totally agree with that. Funky, I'm giving it 8 out of 10, but if it had been the Doctor visiting his friend Max in Stockbridge, I'd have given it higher. That's a good point, isn't it? That yeah, I know what you mean. But please stop giving RTD ideas. He's already baptized one fantastic comic strip. We don't want him going anywhere near Stockbridge.
Well, Bog Fanish have brought Max back into various
they have
as well.
not.
They have, yes. So yeah.
Don't
Who
they
plays
think
Max?
the original? Gosh.
I can't remember. Is it Mark Williams who plays Rory's dad? I think he plays him in one story. I think.
Oh, Mark Williams, I could see playing Max.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. You know, oh, very good. Yes, very good. If you don't know what we're talking about the Doctor Who magazine, or monthly as it was back then, comic strips. And Stockbridge, of course, was this village that the 4th Doctor first goes to, and then the 5th goes to it, and then the 8th goes to it, and all it's a ongoing. It's wonderful. It's a proper English village. It's really great. Stephen Braddock, 10 out of 10. I loved it back in '84 and did again yesterday. It's a great story, and the Malus really was a threat with all the wars in the world. It's a perfect 2-part story. Craig Dunlop is saying, within Davison's era, I give it 8 out of 10. Darren, 79. Good to see you. 7 out of 10. I don't think Eric Saywood's rewrite succeeds as the pacing is off, but it's watchable due to a lovely production. That's a fair point as well, actually, isn't it? And I love that picture of the Hartnell console room there. That's beautiful.
Well, I have to say another shout out to the director for his first directorial job. He did a cracking job on it.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
He holds it together beautifully. It's a nice paced story. For me, I thought it was nice paced. Yeah, well done, Michael Owen Morris. Sheila B in the Devotions, 8 out of 10. I love these village stories. Let's have more of them, I say. More of that sort of Doctor Who Avenger feel in an English village where there's a threat there and everything's not quite what it seems. What else? Oh, Farsight is saying that the Hollow Man was the 7th Doctor in Ace.
Right.
Okay. Brilliant. Okay. Jethrick, 8. I love it. Mudcrab, nice to see you. Matt Ensfield is saying The Awakening gets an 8 out of 10 from me. It's a cozy watch. That's a nice way to say it, isn't it? It's a cozy watch. Yeah. Darren Reed, classic Who 2-parters work well and never feel rushed. 50 minutes of fun and adventure. 9 out of 10. Wow. This is getting great results for The Awakening. This is fantastic. Stephen O'Neill, 8 out of 10. Excellent story. And after this, the stories do get darker and grittier. Yeah, they really do. 10, says Steve Hindley. Raymond Williams, 8 out of 10. Louis Wright wants to know the Horns of Naimon. When? You're going to have to stay with us. Make sure you're subscribed. You're going to have to stay with us. Christmas is too much. You're going to have to stay with us. Georgius, it's sure you. How are you? Well, I watched it recently and thoroughly enjoyed it. 9.5 out of 10. Oh, I'm so glad you watched it recently as well. And for that, thank you so much. 9 out. Oh, do you know what? This was the one, you won't believe this, back in 1984, this is the one that people didn't rate. The fans didn't really rate this because it was in such a good story. It was always Frontios or Resurrection or Caves, especially, of course. Yeah. I think this came just above in the Doctor Who polls, just above the Twin Dilemma.
Yeah.
Twin Dilemma was the bottom of the 7 stories, always. And I think The Awakening was either there or just...
I think it still is, I think.
But not on our show, because it's doing well.
No. When they did the last poll, I think, in the Doctor Who magazine before, the new stuff, it was coming to the bottom, wasn't it? I think, just about,
Yeah. 7 out of 10 from Farsight. Thank you for that, Farsight. Good to see you. And PTA's with us saying 10 out of 10. Woo! Amazing. William Orlock, 8 out of 10. I'm so pleased. This is great. I want the horse to get a spin-off, says Mudcrap.
Well, it's dining out in the royalties, I believe, because I think all the actors got royalties, and I'm hoping the horse did as well. So
it must have done. Surely.
Yeah.
Any more scores on the TARDIS stores? Put them in now, otherwise I'll call it a day. But that was it. The Awakening, another trip back to 1984, January 1984, and that's the other reason I remember, because I'll keep going on about it because I'm British, but the weather. In January 1984 was a bloody atrocious.
It's probably snowing. Yeah.
It was snowing. And the thing is, there you got for these 2 nights, a beautiful summer, and hope came back that January. It's going to be another good summer this year. But and it was actually, I seem to remember, 84 wasn't too bad for a summer. Gosh, what happened to them? Right, I can't see any more coming in, guys. So that was a great show. Thank you very, very much to Graham and Paul. Really enjoyed that.
Thank you. Enjoyed it too.
Thank you. It's been great.
Funky is saying that The Awakening should have actually credited Peter Davison as the Doctor. Although I think Polly actually added more R's in the cliffhanger.
Yeah.
God love her.
You think she was Scottish there, but not. It's Mr. McCoy, really. Yeah.
All right, then, Who viewers, thank you very much indeed for joining us tonight. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you for taking part in the chat with all your chat. And thank you so much for all your scores. A great tribute there to The Awakening, I think. It's done really well. Yeah. Really well. Next scheduled review is the Mission to the Unknown. Next week here on the channel. Yes. And then you know what that means. After that, on the Saturday, will be the Daleks Master Plan.
That'll be 2 sleeps by that point, yes.
This will be brilliant. Who'd have thought we'd be sitting here, 2 weeks away from brand new proper Who that hardly any of us have ever seen. It's treasurable and magical, and we must really... it may not happen. Hopefully it will happen again, but we have to really, don't we? Really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So I can't wait. I'm excited for these reviews. This is going to be really good. They're up on the channel for you now to set reminders for and ring that bell. But you're looking at Thursday for Mission to the Unknown next week. And then the Daleks Master Plan on the Saturday. So come and join us, everybody. I know we're all excited about it. Yeah. But that's what's there. So please, I can't wait to see what we're all going to make of it. We're going to have a little bit of fun with Mission to the Unknown, of course. You can look at any version. You can read the book if you want to. You can listen to your vinyl, your CDs, the cartoon, whatever you want to look at. Yeah. And we're all going to talk about that script from Terry Nation as we get ready for the big day on Saturday.
Can I have a quick spoiler? My points for Dalek Master maybe 100 out of 10, probably easily. Yeah.
Now that is a spoiler there, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yes, don't forget, in between all that, of course, as ever, your big show will be here on Sunday Night Live at 8. It'll be headlines. I suppose we'll be talking a bit more Daleks about that as well. Come on. But from Graham and Paul, thank you guys for joining me. Great chat.
Thank you.
We will be seeing you again very soon here on the channel. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for being here. Great chat, everybody. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you soon. Ta-ra, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.